Fine.
We just know. We're online.
Does it feel right now?
We're
Okay.
live. We're live. Here we are.
Welcome to the Horror Hangout podcast, where three bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Kondo with Kate, and joined by my regular co-hosts, Mr.
Ben Errington.
and Mr.
Andy Conduit Turner. Hello, everybody. Hello, guys.
Episode 200.
Episode what? How many? You're joking.
200.
Yeah.
Sure.
You guys made it.
5 years, is it? No. 4 years? Is it
One of
it's at least more than 2 years.
It's it's more than 2 years. I don't know how many years it is. 4 years. I think we celebrated
Just under 4. Yeah.
Not so long ago we celebrated 4, so it's over 4. Yeah. How exciting!
My goodness. So a long old time anyway, but you made it.
We made it. We're alive. Do we look any different, Luke? Do you think?
I'd like to point out that I'm wearing a shirt today.
Oh yeah. Is that for the occasion?
I was just wearing a shirt, but yes.
Wearing a horror hangout shirt. I'm repping the
cool.
merch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit outdated the brand, but we'll let you off.
Well, if only there were a way to get new, fresh items, Ben. Maybe you'll have something to tell me about that later on. Who knows?
Well. Very interesting you should say that, but yeah, we'll save that for a little bit later. Has everybody got a celebratory drink? I suppose.
I have got a cheeky little beer here, which will fade into existence through the green screen, and traditional. Got my big old glass here, a big giant invisible squash. There it is.
Oh yeah, it really is invisible. Oh,
Just got a cup of tea. Just got a cup of tea today. What about you, Ben?
You're gonna be so hydrated. I've got a cup of tea as well. It's quite a large cup of tea. Franken dog as well.
Uncle Saurus.
As soon as you point out you have a drink,
Delicious.
you've got to have a sip. You've got to have a sip just to prove it's real. It's not just staged.
Yeah.
That's what the guys come here for. Real content.
Real,
Yeah.
true to life content. Exactly.
Yeah.
So how's we've obviously got new visuals as well. Very green, very pink. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Do you feel good in a little floating green box?
Yeah. I mean, it's the.
Yeah.
I don't think I felt more comfortable in a different coloured floating box.
It's pretty much an open invitation for people to put us in various situations
Well, there you
on
go.
roller coasters.
The horror movie of choice. Yeah.
Or in horror movie of choice. Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'd be very
Troy.
impressed by that.
I'm sure Troy will be listening to this. You should put us in your next little video clip.
Yeah, there's no difficulty about cutting us out at all. You could do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So I guess this is obviously not a normal podcast episode. Obviously, we're not covering a film. Are we going to do normal stuff like horror news?
I don't know. Is there any news?
I mean, if
Have
you
got
want,
any
Ben, I
news?
saw there was some news today, which I know is right up your alley.
It's right up me alley. It's right up me alley. Well, I've not got any horror news as such prepared, but literally a couple of hours ago, we had a teaser for a trailer, a teaser for a teaser trailer for Resident
A
Evil.
countdown to a teaser of a trailer for new Resident Evil.
Yeah, a countdown to a teaser for a trailer for the new Resident Evil, which, of course, it's coming out in November the 24th, so we've not really got that long until it comes out, so it's quite late for a trailer. Maybe they just wait until October to do it. But we get two very tiny little looks, one at like a Cerberus dog and one at what I think is Lisa Trevor. It got me very excited. My heart rate increased. I got the goose pimples. So, because I've been waiting for this, like an actual Resident Evil movie based on the actual games since before the original movie came out, the 2002 movie came out. So I'm hella excited.
We,
I've never ever said that before.
as we're live and we're, this is about being in the moment, being on the spot. Should I put you on it now? What is your predicted grade that you think we're going to be giving this when we inevitably do it in a few weeks' time?
Man, that's really, really, really difficult to say.
Now I've got to see you optimist or a pessimist.
Maybe if by the time I see the trailer, I think I'm going to understand a bit more about how I think it's going to look. I'm loving the fact that title treatment is pretty much the same as the games. I think that is a good sign. because I think the thing is it's going to be difficult because you're going to be really, really true to the games, and then do you be too true to the games where it's unwatchable as a film. But I love the games so much that I'm almost like, just be 100% true to the games and just balls to the wall, put it all out there. Come on.
Do you feel like there needs to be an adaptation? Like, do you not feel like the games are their own thing? And
I just think it's nice. Like, I don't think there needs to be.
I think it's nice.
If there wasn't a new Resident Evil movie or TV show, I would pretty much. I'm sure I'd be fine with the games as content. I just love the property so much that it's just a nice thing. I'm like,
do you want it to succeed? Will it make you proud, like a proud uncle? If like people are like, this is better than Breaking Bad.
Definitely,
yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like a proud uncle. I feel like a proud uncle, stepdad, when the games do really well. You know, when the games keep coming out and they're like critically a success and they make a load of money. I'm like, hell yeah.
I think when you're invested in something from the beginning, it's nice when you can have someone else who wasn't into it with you at the time get into it later. And I think the films is good because I know that video games, like a lot of people play them now. Like it's quite, I think it's common, like more than half people, certainly in this country and similar, play video games, right? But for people that don't, like, I don't know, my partner certainly doesn't, like to have them be like, that's a thing that I know about now as well. Or they can go and watch this thing that you really enjoy with you. I mean, depending on the quality of it, it might strip you of film choosing rights for a little while. Like pretty demonic the other day.
Is that how it works?
Like, you come away and it's like, what was that shite? You ain't choosing the next one.
You're bad.
There's always the worry that it will be like when like a small band gets really big, and you'd be like, "No, I liked it. I liked it before it was good."
Yeah, I like Resident Evil before the acting was any good.
Yeah.
It was never good.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. That's kind of like, I've not really focused on any other horror news. We've been trying to prepare this live stream, which has been, challenging, fun. Challenges are fun, right?
Yeah. Don't think of them as challenges, Ben. Think of them as puzzles.
Yeah.
I can. Well, like
Resident Evil puzzles.
Resident Evil puzzles.
Yeah. If you put in the dog crest instead in the tiger's right eye, that would have sorted it. Luke wouldn't have been upside down for a few minutes back there.
I was the puzzle. You just had to figure it out.
You had to rotate him like a number of times.
When you appeared upside down, I think it may have been one of the greatest moments of my life.
I will say to everyone, like, normally we always plan to record at about 8 o'clock, and invariably it's usually about 10 past, quarter past, because we're all finishing our dinner, just making a cup of tea to get on there.
Yeah.
We were all here at 5 minutes too, easy. If things had gone to plan and they hadn't been upside down, we'd have been live at 8.
Yeah.
Don't put it all on me.
You didn't choose to be upside down. It's not a choice. You were born that way.
You're born upside down. You were like a little bat, man, just appearing and having a good old time. Yeah, but you know what? That's all I'm going to bring up for horror news because we've got more pressing things to discuss on there. Unless anyone's seen anything that they want to chat about this week.
Have I prepared anything? You know what? I watched. I don't know why. I was up on like the weekend, whenever it was, and I thought, let's put something on. And I ended up watching the Dean Koontz adaptation, Odd Thomas. You know, the one with Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, that is odd. Thomas.
It's made by Stephen Sommers. So it's he's got The Mummy, Van Helsing. He's got those films.
And now
Thomas. I don't know what we're getting to. And now Odd Thomas. I like the film's like got like I don't know 50% of Rotten Tomatoes. It's not been scored very well. It is amazing to see Anton Yelchin again. He's just like a charismatic, charming guy, and it just makes me really sad that he's like no longer with us. At 27
more
as well.
Great stuff for him as well, because
yeah,
I was late to the party on the Green Room. It's so good, and he's so good in it. He's brilliant. He's so good.
I'd say this is if you're gonna watch Odd Thomas, just know that it's very, very cheesy and not amazing, but it's not bad. It's quite fun. It's a good time. Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it's odd.
I could go in knowing that. That'd be fine. How about you, Ben? You seen anything this week worth commenting on quickly?
Do you know what? I haven't seen anything horror related this week, despite the fact it's October. I've started. Well, actually, I'll tell a lie. I've started watching Squid Game. That's got some elements of horror, I guess, to it. I don't know if you guys have started that yet. It's the big.
I will start it.
I'm quite surprised it's become such a worldwide phenomenon, because I kind of was always of that thought process that majority of people aren't going to want to watch something, that's not sort of performed in English, and I'm quite happy about the fact that it has become such a huge success, because I love sort of like Korean cinema, so I've been a sort of fan of that, and it's got the same sort of flavor, which is nice to a lot of the big hitters, and it's great. I'm only a couple of episodes in, but already I am really enjoying it. I won't say much more because I don't really know all that much about it, or spoilers.
I want to catch up on it. And then I'm like you, Ben. I'm halfway through Midnight Mass right now. It's really good.
Okay.
Then we got to the end yet. I finished episode 4, and I think there were 7. 7, 8.
7. Okay, that's a fairly nice length.
Yeah, keep it tight. Mike Flanagan does keep it tight. Obviously, it's really good. It's really good. I know we've been talking to some guys saying it had a bit of a slower pace and it was a slow build, but I found it really entertaining so far. So
there's a lot of superlatives being thrown around that show and Squid Game. People saying it's like episode 5. I just can't. Oh, I don't know what that
means. Episode 5. I'm hyperventilating here after that episode. I've heard Midnight Mass is a hell of a lot of monologuing. I don't know how I feel about. I like a monologue, but I don't want too much of a monologue. It's like cheese on toast. I love cheese on toast, but I reckon after about 3 pieces of cheese on toast, I'm done. Don't want more than 3.
What you want is...
I could keep going.
I think there's a little bit.
I need someone to tell me to stop.
There's a little bit of a monologue. There was one monologue in the last episode I watched. I was like, it's a bit much for me. But even though, Ben, it was like you said last week, it was actually 2 people monologuing together. They took it in turns.
Just have a conversation.
Okay. Yeah, well, they took it in turns to do a monologue. They literally, one person did a thing, went, right, it's your turn now, and then the other person did it. And that was a little much for me. But other than that, it's a bit like your cheese on toast analogy. Then something will happen, and it's like that third piece of cheese on toast comes. Someone's only whacked a bit of reggae sauce on that. Oh, a whole new game. Got some music in your food, and that is what when things
game changer.
When things kick off, which they have done in the last episode I watched, my goodness, is it tasty. Levi Roots has burst in, kicked the entire series in the dick, and is going for it. It's good.
I'm gonna watch it.
I can only think about cheese on toast now. As I said, I struggle with Blind Manor, so I'm not sure, but I probably will get around to it eventually. I don't know. There's so much stuff. There's so much content out there right now.
It's hard to say, but it's not a Blind Manor by no sense of the word, but it's also not a Hill House. It's something different. Okay. It's something different. Okay. It's more of a I don't know what to say that it's like. I don't want to spoil anything. It's good. Go and enjoy it, and the people that Mike Flanagan's mates that are in there are
and his wife.
All good stuff. Your wife can be your friend as well, Ben. That's all right.
All right.
All right, snowflake.
Is your wife listening or something, Andy? Is that what's going on?
She doesn't listen to this.
She just gets on with her life, like you all should.
No, she asks how it's gone. She's like, "Oh, good episode." Yeah,
still going. I get it. Still doing that. Old shit.
No.
Yeah.
We're still doing it, and we're 200 episodes strong, and the show is only going to get bigger and more scary.
Yeah. Bigger and scarier from here.
Just forgot, I did also rewatch 2018's Halloween. It was sort of preparation for the new one that's coming out, Halloween Kills. I actually think I enjoyed it the first time. I kind of loved it this time. It's a really fun, cool slasher. It's absolutely brutal. It's dead fun. There's loads of teeth that splash on the floor.
And that podcaster scene.
There's that podcaster scene. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's really good.
Feel really connected to that. I hope there's more podcasters in this one.
I hope they all
people who can understand.
Yeah.
They're the heroes. That woman has got new teeth. She's got sharp Michael Myers biting teeth. And just as he thinks he's won, she comes out, big metal jaw, like that guy from He-Man, takes him out.
That's on the list to watch this month. I noticed a lot, pretty much all the Halloween films, well, like 1 to 5, are on Netflix now.
They've all gone to Netflix, yeah.
They've all gone to Netflix now. So, I've seen 1 to 3 like fairly recently. So 4 and 5 are due a watch. So I'll probably get around to that at some point in the lead up to the Halloween time. Ben Scaife in the chat says, "Hi guys, congrats on 200 episodes." Thank you very much, Ben. Couldn't have done it without you.
Hey Ben. Thanks, Ben.
Cheers, Ben.
I recommend people go check out Ben's YouTube channel. I can't remember what the actual thing.
Reactions. So it's Needle Rats, isn't it? His username.
That's the one, yeah.
Various reactions to horror properties, and up to date things. I think he did a Squid Game reaction recently.
Yeah,
I know he's done things like Annabelle and Conjuring. So go and check that out.
And of course, we can't mention Ben without not this Ben, that Ben. Without really calling him out for his strong t-shirt game.
Oh yeah, the t-shirt game is beyond strong, and I've worn it once or twice while having a run, and I like to filter my sweat through it. I feel like that's showing my love for the t-shirt 100%. So yeah, thank you. Very comfortable, very soft, lovely design.
I'll always wear that t-shirt when I'm watching either of my two favourite 8 horror movies, Congo or indeed Dunstan Checks In.
Yeah, and it can still apply to other hate horror movies. Horror movies.
Well. Monkey Shines. What's the one with the baboon?
What is the one with the baboon?
Like Shikaka or something.
Shakmo.
A killer baboon roams like a hospital while some kids are playing Dungeons and Dragons or some sort of live action role playing game. What a great premise!
That is cool. Did they fight him? Did they do Dungeons and Dragons moves?
I don't think there's much fighting. I think the baboon just like leaps out of various cupboards screaming.
Stranger Things.
They put all their D20s on the floor and he slips over like Harry and Marv.
Absolutely world class. So we have got like a schedule for the episode, of course, which is slightly different than usual. Starting with, look at that, we moved little boxes. We're still are the correct names underneath? I was worried about that then.
Just to check, are we supposed to be recording the Zoom call as well?
No.
Okay, cool.
Because we'll rip the audio off of whatever.
Ben's got it under control. We've just turned up.
I don't know if I have got it under control, guys. I thought I did, but it is like wrangling angry baboons. Angry chakras. It's like having 12 angry baboons in a room and trying to get them all to stand in a line nicely. Idiots.
The blurst of times, you.
So yeah, I guess the first thing is 200 episodes. Thanks to everybody for listening, because without you, we wouldn't have got to 200 episodes. We'd have got dead bored at about 28 and gone, let's just leave it at that. And
not even finish an Empire's List. Because, if no one's listening, then why do I even get out of bed in the morning? But actually, some of you do listen, so thank you. It's very nice of you.
Thanks to you, Andy, for joining and getting involved as well, because me and Luke could have got sick of each other's company at some point.
Thanks.
Can't see that happening.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been
looking in the mirror.
It's been an exciting time. I still remember. I think it was a friend of mine, Dan Butcher, had tweeted when you were starting the show, like episode 1. I'm pretty sure it was the day before you put it out, or the day you were listening to your first episode. I went, 2 bearded film, but the best horror films ever. And I listened to this, and I think I messaged you guys after I listened to the first couple. Said, hey, if you ever want anyone on when you get to the likes of the slashers, which was probably my go-to horror at the time, happy to come and join you. I think I first joined like 20 odd episodes, like 21, 22 for It Follows. Yeah. And then it's the start of things. Like we work together on tons of stuff now.
Exactly. It's great.
It's all about Horror Hangout, so thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's been great to watch movies that like you wouldn't. You're welcome, by the way, Andy. Thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure. It's been great for like watching films that I probably would never have seen. It's been great for chatting to people about their favorite films as well. We've just been doing like a 31 days of horror hangout where we kind of post the best of the last year in terms of episodes. And it's really nice to look back at who we've had on the show and who's been chatting to us about their favorites and maybe not so much favorites. But yeah, it's been great networking as well. Meeting people, following them on Twitter, they follow you back, talking horror.
I mean, if this was a LinkedIn podcast, we'd be talking about how that's the main reason for having one. But genuinely, I've met people I consider very good friends these days from doing this podcast, 100%. And it's been really nice. We meet other people. You get to chat about a film. And to be honest, in today's modern world, where there's always something to do, it's good to have a reason why you have to make time to sit and watch a new movie or or revisit an old movie. Even you could argue there's probably a statement in there that you shouldn't have to have. You shouldn't base your leisure activities on what generates content. But I'll take any reason we can get, to be honest.
Yeah, and sometimes it makes you watch films that you would never get around to, and you end up loving or enjoying or hating them. Yeah. But it's good to give the film an opportunity.
100%. We are going to talk about this when we get to like listeners' questions as well. Talk about some things that we've already touched on there. Actually, Luke, do you want to maybe just hit record just in case? Just in case. Like, I'm pretty sure you don't have to, but you put the seed in my head then.
Sorry. You need to give me permission then.
Just in case. I'll give you permission.
As the host.
Yeah. Imagine if it was you were just asking not to do it with a Zoom setting. You were just saying like, do I have your permission to record? Yes, you do.
Yeah, I'd say as well, like, so we did the first 50. That's
recording in progress.
We did the first 50, the 50 best horror movies of all time. And I always considered myself a horror movie fan, and I kind of felt like I knew a fair bit about the genre. But this felt like actually studying and kind of, not in a bad way, like learning the history of what films influenced other films. Like, with like rock music, that came from blues and that goes all the way through to heavy metal. And you kind of learn that history and that through path. Like horror movies are the same way. Like you learn about you learn about Cat People, and then you learn about the remake of Cat People,
and then nothing's gonna top this. Let's just stop.
Like horror has peaked.
Yeah, so I feel like my understanding and appreciation of the genre has developed a lot over the past.
I think you're right. I feel the same. I would have considered myself definitely a horror movie fan, but I don't know if I'd have ever said it was my favorite genre. I mean, it was definitely up there. I think I just like a lot of genres equally, but now after doing these like horrors kind of like far and beyond anything else, it tends to take up, I reckon 75% of my watching films. It's rare that like when another genre pops its way in, I'm a bit like, oh, this is a bit strange, watching something else, watching a crime thriller or something like that. Are You Afraid of the Pasta on YouTube just says howdy guys. So howdy. Hey. Thanks for joining us. So we're kind of just talking about general bits and bobs. So 200 episodes. Sorry, go on, Luke.
Well, I was going to say people might listen to this if they're joining live and might think that this is what we do, but it's not really. This is like a 200 episode 200 celebration. So there's going to be lots of bigging ourselves up and
patting ourselves on the back. Look, there's a big loving.
Horror Hangout podcast where three horror fans say how pretty good they are about things and how much they know about horror in the post office to strangers and live to you here at home.
Yeah. I'd say we're pretty modest as a trio, but this time we're just going to be big old egotistical maniacs for a couple of hours, however long this lasts. So what else have we got on the agenda? Also, 100,000 downloads we recently hit.
Yes.
Yes, which is, a lovely milestone for us to hit. It's always been one of those things, download numbers, I've never really kept an eye on so much with this podcast, because I think, first and foremost, I do it because I enjoy it, So in terms of, it's nice to know the podcast is growing, and it's amazing to know that so many people are listening, and we've had so many downloads. So yeah, sort of taking stock and looking back at it is really, really nice. So 100,000. Well done, guys.
Yeah. Thank you to all 100,000 of you, minus the few that were me, I guess. But yeah, everyone else, thank you very much.
Well, yeah, if you've downloaded more than one episode, or downloaded the same episode, more than once, listen more than once, then there we go. How many people are there actually in that 100,000? Just 17.
You don't have people that are re-listening to episodes, do you?
No. Just downloading them, keeping them on their desktop, just collating them like some sort of.
Light them up for the future. Whack them in a time capsule, so generations in the future can get our takes when we're, historical speakers like philosophers. People are like, they'll pronounce our names slightly wrong, like Socrates, Ben Errington,
Conduit, Twarner,
Luke Kondo with a C.
Luke Kondo with a bloody C. Luke Look. Luke over there. There he is. The lineup of episodes for October. This is the kind of a thing we do on social media where we kind of post what the lineup is going to be for the month. We don't really talk about it on the podcast. Maybe we should do that. So yeah, for October, we've got tasty little lineup. We like to throw in a new release as well. But so
love a new release.
Yeah, love a new release. And obviously October is fantastic for new releases. We are going to start doing some bonus content as well. We will get onto that. But so for next week, we're going to be doing a sequel. Now, it's quite rare that we do sequels on this podcast, isn't it? At least direct sequels to like major horror movies. We tend to do the main installment, and then we might do a reboot or a reimagining further down the line. But
aside from Aliens, I don't think we've practically done none, right? Just the ones that follow on from Alien, and they're so different in tone, and it's such a huge franchise that it's rare that we've done a direct sequel, and horror is famous for it.
Exactly, and it's almost like there's obviously loads to talk about as well. Like you could do an episode where you cover like all of the sequels, like all of the Halloween sequels, all of the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels. But I do think they do deserve some of them anyway. Do deserve a whole episode to discuss them. So
we did episode 2 of Stranger Things. We did all the episodes.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that counts.
So Ben Scaife on YouTube has just said, I remember when you guys would be like, might do this film next week, might not. That must have been kind of frustrating for the listener, but we were a bit, I don't know.
I think they liked it. It was like a raffle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure they were going to get.
Like a lovely raffle. We might do this. And sometimes like now, obviously, we do tend to do a podcast every week. Sometimes we just wouldn't turn up. Wouldn't we?
Well, sometimes we think we haven't watched anything, or I don't know what we talk about.
Was there a period? I think it was just after you guys launched the first Del Marvo comic. Weren't you both drowning in like comics to ship out? So just had like a couple of weeks off because you were literally just posting things, something along those lines, something hideous. It's like there's too much admin. Can't do a film.
It's weird. I don't remember much of any. the last 4 years.
I mean, we did that, and then it was random because you just mentioned Stranger Things. We did a series once, so like the scheduling and the kind of episodes we did were very all over the place because we did the 50
eclectic.
Yeah, we did the top 50 list, but I don't think we've officially completed it until about episode 80 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you had a couple of asides, and when you just took a little break from the list, because didn't you have you had a couple of weeks where the movie was like off the cliffs of quality? It was a real old one. You needed a little rest and had to do something new for a bit.
I needed to recharge. I had to lie down.
Or a little guess.
I had to lie down in a dark room for 3 days. 3 days.
Just
straight.
watching new content, just bright, colourful new content.
Brand new content straight into my eyes. When's it been published? 1 hour ago. Perfect. Get it in my eyeballs. Exactly that.
You got through it though, and then I guess that would have come a point where you thought, what happens next? And then I kind of like what we're doing now. We just mix it up. But I've distracted you, Ben. Like you're talking this week's agenda.
We got to the end of the 50, and we just carried on going. I don't know if we ever decided. I don't think there's ever a point where we're like, are we gonna stop? it was like we were driving towards a cliff in a car and looking at each other like, are we?
Well, like Thelma and
Jenna?
Louise. Thelma and Louise.
Yeah. It started Thelma and Louise, but then it became the end of Grease, where you just go off into the sky.
Exactly, yeah.
Together. And Luke was in a really tight,
Always.
really skin tight leather two-piece. Yeah, and then we kind of did some themes like, oh, we're going to watch video game adaptations for like 4 episodes, do some sequels. Yeah, I quite like it. And we've still got that freedom to a degree, you know. Things kind of pop up that we go, oh, we haven't covered that on the podcast. Make a note of that. So it's great. It'll never end.
We got a spreadsheet. We're hearing the requests and the suggestions and so on as well. So
I think we're 4 episodes from completing horror, right?
Yeah,
we've done all of them pretty much.
Pretty close, yeah. The platinum trophy is going to ding in the corner of our lives, in the corner of your eye in a bit. Completed horror. Ding! There we go.
That's what you see before you die.
Genre complete. But yeah, we've got our first sequel coming right up, and what a sequel!
So next week, 13th of October, we're doing a Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Get some revenge, Freddy. Get some of that, Dan, yeah. And then
This is the problem. Revenge is as well as being a dish best served cold. Freddy, technically, it's a whole eye for an eye thing. So Freddy's having revenge because Nancy stopped him from getting revenge on the parents who burned him alive, getting revenge on him for being a rotten old child murderer.
You can't,
or pedo in the new one. But
you can't point at anyone without pointing at yourself with the
3 fingers right back at you. Trisha said that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's what a message to learn. But it's a big old...
Freddie hasn't learned it.
No.
He's having a revenge.
He's never going to learn. So yeah, who deserves revenge? Does anyone deserve revenge? Should they just go,
Freddy.
Listen,
I think
let's
Freddy.
just leave it at that. Also, in the very final shot of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy seems to get some sort of revenge, right?
Yeah, he takes him to hell on a bus, right? No,
he pulls the mum. He pulls the mum off in the window. Yeah,
and she's like turned into like an inflatable dummy or something.
Yeah, he turns it into a dummy. That's canon. It isn't a bad effect. He turns her into a dummy and pulls her through the window.
Calls her a bitch. Just whispers it to her. We don't hear that.
Bitch.
Freddy's big on calling people bitches. In many ways, though, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and it'll have its own merits when we talk about it next week, but in many ways, it is an essential gateway so that in another 50 episodes or so, we can do Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Old Dream Warriors, get the Wizard Master himself.
That'd be the dream. That's probably the best one, right? I think. Well,
it's up there.
Some people like the meta one.
Well, New Nightmare. It'll be a while before we get there.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this one.
I want to say 6.
7.
Oh, okay.
6 is Freddy's Dead. 7's New Nightmare.
Freddy's Revenge again. Freddy's Second Revenge.
Yeah.
That's what Freddy wants some more revenge. And then on the 20th
Long
of
subtitle.
October, we're going to do Halloween Kills, which obviously got delayed from last year. So classic sort of lineup in terms of horror royalty, going straight from Freddy Krueger to old Michael Myers.
Yeah, to the biggies.
Very excited for this. Tried to avoid, I know we've discussed trailers on the show, but tried to avoid the majority of the trailers ever since the first one. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Looking forward to that. And then on the 27th, just before Halloween, we're doing Beetlejuice, which is a movie. I was surprised we hadn't covered this before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What an absolute delight.
I've not seen it for a little while.
Michael Keaton as a repugnant lech. Yeah. So I think I watched that. I think I watched it like last year around about the same time. So I'll go and have a nice little refresher. And the only other thing on the agenda is the fact that we're doing the 31 Days of Horror Hangout challenge all over the socials. Keeping up with that as best we can. So basically, it's essentially a selection of the best episodes from the past 12 months with various guests and all the movies we've covered. We've thrown the new episodes in there as well for the dates that they drop. But yeah, pretty cool. We're getting some nice interaction on Twitter. People telling us And it's just a way of like urging people to go back and listen to previous episodes because they've been pretty sexy. Very nice, juicy horror content out there.
Got to get to those 200,000 downloads, and this is the way to do it.
Yeah, this is like an add-on sale. So we're at 100,000 downloads, and we're already greedy, and we want the 200,000 downloads. So we're going.
Yeah, you want the next hit, but yeah, like I've been enjoying this as well. Obviously, like it's nice that if people might go back and listen to certain episodes or everywhere that anyone that can use a hashtag has got a 31 days of something as we run up to Halloween. But Shudder have gone 62 days of horror.
Yeah,
Madness.
I saw that.
Madness.
Greedy.
Shudder, come on. But there's like it's nice to do these challenges, and if it inspires someone to watch something they haven't watched before, if they've joined us late and they're not the kind of podcast listener that goes back and binges things from day one. I know a lot of people do, but it might just give you a little sampling of someone to come back. I think, Ben, you've made choices that showcase, and we've had some cool guests for the year, so it's nice to remember when they came to visit. I've been pleasantly reminded, like just doing the tweets and stuff and like discussing with people about it. It's been nice to hear other people's takes on the movies. And also it's nice to remember episodes that I've almost forgot we've done after the best part of the year.
Happens.
Like people under the stairs, I'd completely I remember that we did an episode on it. If someone said, "Have you done an episode on People Under the Stairs?" I'd have gone, "Yes, we did." But when I looked at the thing, I thought, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that film for a while," and that was a mad one. That was today's film, right? People Under the Stairs.
It was today's film, yeah, exactly. The 6th of October movie. Yeah, so pretty much almost every episode has got a different guest on it. So I think that just sort of showcases the variety you'll get from listening to this lovely. I sound like that guy, when you're at a checkout and they go, "Do you want some Kit Kats for £1?" Just do a sales. You could work at WH Smith. Do you want a massive dairy milk? Got dime pieces in it, £1.
I don't think that guy works for the supermarket, Ben. You shouldn't buy his Kit Kats.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. 2 of the fingers have been gnawed off. Well, sorry. That's me taking my commission. Yeah, so there we go. That is that. And then obviously, I'm just thinking, where are we? And I guess we've got a nice piece of information slash reveal. I guess it's a reveal. It's something that we've been discussing between ourselves, between the three of us for a while to do. But we're actually going to bloody go ahead and do it now, which is we're going to get ourselves on Patreon. Horror Hangout is going to have its own Patreon with exclusive content, bonus bits and bobbies. We're just going to expand the reach of the podcast as best we can, and obviously have hopefully some support, and that we'll put that towards various things in terms of the podcast, advertising, and maybe we're going to do more live streams, more bonus episodes. But yeah, it is live now. This is the first time we've mentioned it in public.
Yeah.
So kind of like a soft, what do we call it? A soft launch?
A little soft launch. And you're being very modest, Ben. You said we've been talking about it and doing some work on getting it ready, but Luke and I have been talking about it and you've been doing all the work effectively to get it all ready.
Well, with your help, of course, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? There's a lot to think about in terms of, obviously we've got loyal listeners that we want to make sure don't feel like they're being stiffed.
So you nickel and dimed over this.
I think we've been over it, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say that the podcast that you get now, all the content that you get today, none of that's going to be taken away and paywalled or anything like that. So if you're here to hear us chat about a new horror film every week, guess what? Continue to do that.
Yeah.
With our compliments. But I know there's more stuff that we would like to do, and I know there's more stuff that people have asked us to do. The real story is it takes a bit of time to get all this stuff ready. So if there's some support coming in, it means we can invest the time, invest the money in some cases that it would cost to go and get these things to happen, and just helps keep the old lights on for us to do more content.
Yeah,
Keeps the
you
old
also
lights on.
you get a couple of name games for free, but after that you've got to pay for your
Yeah.
name games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, in the episode, Luke just goes pixelated, and like that Black Mirror episode, you can't access him. He's saying the name game. We're reacting to him because we can hear it, because we're
I see.
the inner circle.
We're on the Patreon.
I'll get behind the
We're
paywall.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
That'd be
yeah,
good. It'd be nice to get some people on there, do some little bonus episodes, some cool ideas for extra bits of pitching movie sequels or talking about things we don't normally get to talk about. So yeah, that'd be
we kind of wanted a place to put all this extra content that wasn't just like overloading our socials. Of course, with Hawk and Cleaver, we put out a few podcasts anyway. So we didn't want to oversaturate everything in terms of that. So we thought a place for Horror Hangout exclusively would be a good idea. So we've done that. We might change this. I think we're just going to see what works, what sticks. But currently we've got 4 different supporter levels. Obviously, from as little as £1 a month or $1 a month, you can pledge. And is it pledge? Is that what we call it? You can.
Yeah.
Pledge, subscribe, whatever you prefer. Use
doesn't sound right then.
Use your verb of choice, sacrifice, whichever one you want to, whatever you want to call it.
Sacrifice a tiny little lamb. So yeah, like for £1, it's just going to be like general support for the show. But there's going to be a patrons only feed, which is going to have like regular updates, behind the scenes stuff. Because we're going to be doing plenty of things every week, so we'll put some stuff up. That's going to be the behind of that. Regular shout out as a thank you on the podcast, which we'll do at the end. Depends how many people we've got. Obviously, we might have to get Andy to say it really, really fast. You have to slow it down to hear your name.
Yeah, can manage that.
You're good at that. The super supporter level, there's going to be like the ability to vote in patrons only polls, which are going to like decide what films we cover in future episodes, and access to the private Patreon community as well, which is going to have direct interaction with us if you want that. Maybe not. And I think what we're going to try and do as well is commit to at least 1 to 2 bonus episodes a month. They're probably not going to be as long and as sort of in depth as the regular episodes that are going to be just on podcast feeds. But yeah, we're going to do various things: interviews, quizzes, reactions. So this week or next week, a reaction possibly to the Resident Evil trailer. Countdowns. We've got some ideas for a pitch a remake / pitch a sequel bonus episode where the 3 of us do that, and I think that would be pretty fun. I've already got some ideas cooking away.
Yeah, looking forward to this one.
When you have to do like a reaction video or something, I'm a bit worried because I don't really react facially to anything or noisily. I think it might feel like the video's like broken or stuck or something.
Yeah, is he all right? Is everything?
Or
right?
or do I have to force it out and sort of act?
This is one of my greatest things that stresses me out. Like when it's your birthday or Christmas.
This is exactly the feeling.
I'm ruins the entire thing for me because people like
great.
Like, you don't really like your present. And I do like my present. I just don't express myself in that way.
Well, tell your face. Tell your face.
No, but now my face looks unhappy because I'm stressed that you don't think I'm happy enough. You're Amanda Knoxing me. You're punishing me for the way I look instead of.
We mentioned Amanda Knox on a podcast probably like 2 episodes ago. You bloody love her.
What are you saying, Ben? Like you're saying like. saying I don't look shocked enough at the fact she was accused of a crime.
Crime is it? Oh yeah.
Crime is really effective for that.
What we might do though, if we do a reaction video, if we do the 3 of us reacting to something, it's probably easier because we can bounce off each other, not physically. And if we just the 3 of us on screen at the same time as the trailer, and it doesn't have to be. We don't want to overthink it. People will hopefully enjoy us. Most of it's going to be us chatting about the reaction as well. Wow, that looks good. Wow, that looks.
We should do good. Like Gogglebox. We'll all be sat on a sofa in his pants. Bowl of popcorn.
There'll be a dog in there. Some Mr. Kipling cakes. We are still open for some advertising revenue, Mr. Kipling.
It's true. Yeah, and what else? So for also the elite supporters. So obviously we talk about bonus episodes for elite supporters. We're also going to be early access to chapters of the Horror Hangout book, which we are writing. We've got quite a lot of it done, but thought it'd be good to maybe like share a couple of chapters a month.
It's been so modest. You've got a lot of done, Ben.
Yeah, Ben has got a lot of the work done. Luke and I have said, yeah, I really like that. We'll definitely put some notes in. But Ben is doing all of the. He's built the structure. He's really got the layout gone. Actually, Ben is like dragging us, kicking and screaming towards giving some great new content. I'm so excited about the book.
Your names are going to be on the front of the book, regardless. Regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
So,
if we don't do it, you'll put some hot takes in there for us. Oh, I did like this film because I'm a massive idiot.
I think it's also going to be like the kick up the ass. I need to like keep it going as well, because I think I definitely hit a bit of a wall in terms of how much of it I'll put together. So yeah, so I think what we're going to do is share like early chapters of the book, obviously in their quite a raw form, but also we're going to look at the process, the writing and the editing process as well, in some format. Not entirely sure what that will be just yet, but
I will work it out.
We'll work out, yeah.
But I know that one of the things that you're excited about the book is we wanted to get the feel of like of what we have on the podcast here. Like I think you guys called it the Horror Hangout, and it's kind of normative determinism. You've made like it's began to feel like that kind of thing, right? So you are like hanging out. So I know it's that you want to have some kind of interactive element in there as well. So when the book's finished, you might even have little spaces in there that people can put their ratings in.
Yeah.
It
would be really nice to make it like an interactive experience, which we kind of spoke about. And I think by having this
Scratch
content...
and sniff. Oh, that smells like Ben.
That smells like Ben. It's bloody lovely. I'm gonna eat that page, consume that page.
Pop-up book bits.
Pop-up book, yeah. Bits of beard.
Augmented reality bits where you just see me and Ben and Andy sat hovering holograms above the book.
That'd be good. Wow. And then you take off the augmented reality thing and
we don't go away.
We don't go away. No.
Like the gate goblin things. we scatter.
Like that. Same size as well, yeah.
If you slam one of us in the door, we'll like reform into a massive one outside.
Exactly. It's going to be a very interesting book, is what we say.
It's going to be great, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be sharing that as the months go on as well. So there's going to be lots of juicy. I think one thing we've said, Horror Hangout is creating juicy horror content. I think that's it. Podcasts, yes, but also video content and books. We do have a ultimate supporter. I'll show you some.
Okay, so pledge level.
Who is it then? It's me. Well, I'll show you some images in a second. But basically, what we've got is so there's gonna be like a quarterly Zoom hangout for all of the ultimate supporters and us. Whether it's just gonna be like a chat or whether we're gonna make an actual show of it, who knows? But we'll do that. But also, there's gonna be a quarterly care package including 4 pieces of exclusive Horror Hangout merchandise. So I'll show you a nice little image of this stuff as well. So yeah, basically the website as well is patreon.com/horror hangout. We'll be posting this on socials with all the links to all the relevant stuff as well. We've just got a brief sort of description of everything that's going to be included, including these exclusive book chapters. That's just like a possible cover at the moment. But here we go. Is the exclusive merch pieces via Patreon. So if you become an ultimate supporter, it's going to try and zoom in here a second. Wait there. Is this going to work? There we go. Oh, faces. So yeah, exclusive Horror Hangout merchandise. So basically, every quarter there'll be like a different piece sent out. Is that right? Did I get that right? Sounds right.
I think so. Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, sounds right. So there's a T-shirt, there's a mug, there's a print, there's a sticker. Again, we'll see how these things.
Who knows? By the time we get to if that's only the first 4 quarters, what are we going to do in year 2? Mouse pad.
Exactly.
Just lots of different mouse pads.
Yeah,
There's a different mouse pad every quarter.
Like a brick, like that's got Horror Hangout carved into it. Who knows?
through someone's window.
If it comes through someone's window, yeah.
Oh, like a Rubik's cube that has like our faces on 3 sides, and you do it like a Hellraiser puzzle.
Yeah, you don't want to solve that one. To be fair.
No way. Yeah.
I kind of want that now.
that is kind of it for the Patreon. Obviously, if you go to the website, you can read all about it. There's loads of stuff on there.
But yeah, again, like I think people, if you want to find a way to support us and keep us doing more exciting stuff, then it's a great way to do it. Obviously, we appreciate everyone listening and sharing the show already, but you want to help us do a little bit extra?
Yeah, of course.
That's the way to go.
That's what the goal is, and I think right at the bottom here it asks you sort of why Patreon, but it's just so we can have all of the creative endeavors that go alongside the podcast in one place. For because if you're a fan of Horror Hangout, you might not be so much of a fan of what other stuff Hawk and Cleaver are doing. I mean, I don't know why, but
do great stuff.
But you might not be. You might just have a slight interest in horror podcasts. So it's just a good place to have everything in one sort of spot. And with the support, we'll continue to produce content. Like hopefully the quality of that content will go up, and we'll put funds towards things like marketing, promotional materials, social media, advertising, all that stuff, so that we can
eventually, when you can go outside properly and no one's worried about a deadly virus and stuff as well. We spoke about it. Like it would be very useful if we do start doing things like attending some festivals and so on.
Yeah,
pays for those train tickets. Have you taken a train recently? Expensive.
Yeah, basically that's what you want to do. You want to pay for Andy's first class train ticket.
I wouldn't travel first class. Come on, I'm one of the people.
I'm not sure.
Sometimes it's cheaper if you book it in advance. Yeah. I'm driving the train. No, but it's
drive me out the wall, mate.
it's a good way to keep us to be able to do more different content. Actually, go to these events. Yes, who knows? See us out there on the red carpet talking to all your favourites.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's that. So patreon.com/horror hangout. We'll share this probably over the next couple of days. Yeah. So obviously, thanks in advance if anyone wants to join us on there. And that's that.
No pressure, but
no pressure. But Andy, you wouldn't like to see Andy when he's angry. You
can't see him at all in this background.
He's green, so green.
I agree with Andy.
It's the secret, Ben. I'm not always angry. It's fine. Pretty chill.
So, pretty chill. That's what someone who's got an anger issue would say. I'm pretty chill, pretty chill.
Don't correct me, Ben.
Bollocks. So, we've obviously been receiving some things from listeners as well, haven't we?
We have. Actually, Ben, are you talking questions or are you talking the messages that we've got? Which way are we going on your agenda?
So on the agenda, we've got messages first before we delve into questions.
Ben, shall I play this for you?
How are we going to do this? Did you want to play all in one go, or did you want to just
I'll give you a little setup, and then I'll just maybe I'll pause and we'll unpick a few of those, and I'll get your reaction to them, because you guys haven't heard this yet, right?
No.
And there are other messages as well, like that we had from various people who didn't have a chance to record something. Some of these guys actually recorded on video, and I'll send those to you separately. But for technical reasons, I've just ripped the audio here. We've got some messages from some of the great listeners, some of our friends, some of their former guests of the show.
Is this is this going to be like This Is Your Life, where you play them and we go?
It is a bit like.
Oh yeah, that old guy.
This one. What I'll do is I'll play. There's about 5 minutes of messages in total. I'll play like a couple, and then I'll give it a pause, and we'll give you a chance to react well up with tears and so on, and then I'll come back to the ones.
I don't know what reaction you want me to do.
Yeah,
just do.
Can you do the face look of someone who is kind of heart warmed, a little bit of pride in there, there should be an emotional time. See, I've managed to get rid of this any feelings of anxiety because I've already listened, and also because I asked people. I was saying it's to you two really. I'm incidental.
You made this live. You've made me do a live reaction. I've got
when
Christmas in front of a fucking audience.
When they announced the best actor at the Oscars, and it shows all 6 of them on the thing.
Yeah,
you got to do that. Great stuff.
Oh.
Well, me, I've won.
I don't know why I was rubbish. Right, here's the first couple. Strap in. I think the first one is someone we've heard from today.
Hi guys, Ben Scape here. 500 episodes. That's amazing. Here's to another few hundred. Maybe at 500, I'll do you a t-shirt. Thanks for being great content and getting me through a bad stage in my life. Cheers, guys.
Hello, it's Alice Taylor-Matthews here. Not with Belial, my baby, unfortunately. He's at nursery. He sends his apologies. Just want to say congratulations on 200 shows, guys. That's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing.
I'll pause there before we go into it. So obviously, Ben, another Ben, and friend of the show, former guest. So Alice has been on with us twice, right, as well, and we met her and interviewed her when we listened to Horror Show Favourite, Sleepaway Camp as well. We watched that. But yeah, first couple of messages for you there. A little tear in your eye there, Luke. Just wiping it away.
Obviously,
I had a bit of crisp dust in my eye.
Obviously, with Ben mentioning getting him through a difficult, or helping to get him through a difficult period in his life, that's obviously really great to know, because I've been there and I completely understand that sometimes, it's those pieces of, it's like listening to podcasts, watching various things on YouTube and stuff. The things you don't really kind of like realize are making the difference are the things that are making a difference. So to know that we're part of that really does mean a lot. So thanks, Ben.
Also, Ben needs to come on the show at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I don't know why he hasn't already.
Yeah,
let's get him on. Should we get him on for Shackma or Dunstan?
Can we do an episode of Dunstan Checks In? No.
Ben, I tell you what, you've done some lovely things for us, and you've been a great supporter of the show. So you choose which ape horror movie you'd like to watch. It has to be an ape horror movie. I do have to stress that.
Those parameters, yeah.
King Kong. Yeah. Thanks very much. And obviously, always a pleasure having Alice on, with or without Belial.
Love that kid. Right, I'll throw out another one or two for you. Here we go.
when that moth was attacking Ben. That was hilarious. Anyway, guys, keep up the great work. Congratulations, and keep on cracking.
Hey,
is that Troy?
Yeah.
Thank you for having me as a guest on the show this year. I had such a good time, and who'd have thought it? 200 episodes. I've enjoyed every single one, and I can't wait for hundreds more. So yeah, congratulations, my dudes. You're smashing it.
So that first one, you nailed it, Luke. Is our old friend Troy. There, those of you in the Facebook group, you'll see he is one of our more creative listeners. He's always creating like video and audio content as well. His did come with a video element as well. I'll send it over to you guys so you can access it, or I'm sure he'll be able to send it over or post it in the group even. Thanks for listening, Troy. And Troy's one of those guys. I think we hear from him after most episodes. I know that he listens in. I know that I think one of the things that I've spoken to Troy on a number of occasions, he enjoys, again, the kind of, some people would want a more focused show where, we're really to the point, we do some real critical analysis, likes us chatting on, which is good. And the thing I like about the show is that we have fun doing it as well, right? None of us are professional.
My favorite moments of this show was when we have we talk about something random, I don't know, we just get some nonsense that has nothing to do with. I mean, no. My favorite part of the show was Ben doing "Hey, you're looking for Candyman" in the Pee Wee Herman voice.
Oh yeah. Honestly, there are plenty of moments every episode which get me belly laughing. So just so you know, it's good. I think
it was Ross Kemp last time.
I think Ross Kemp last time, yeah.
Ross Kemp last time. Chris Rock being compared to Zippy from Rainbow when he's solving a murder. I love it when we get onto a tangent. Although I do feel it affects me, though. I don't think I say Candyman properly anymore. I think now
that's true.
through pronouncing things slightly wrong and putting the intonation on words to be a dickhead on the show, I now find that I do say Candyman, Snowman on purpose, not on purpose, naturally. Go to the cinema. One for Candyman, please.
It's great. I mean, it's great to hear from Troy. I love, he gets in contact a lot, shares a lot of the stuff that he's been creating as well, which is amazing. I love to hear from him and love to see the stuff he's creating, and it's good to know that he's so deeply affected by the show. Me getting attacked by a moth. I can't remember when that was, but
I mean, you're lucky he didn't remember that he drowned an earwig that time. Maybe that moth was after revenge.
Oh yeah. That was a long time.
Forgot about the earwig.
That was a long time ago. And
obviously, your coffee,
great
and then Stu
as well. Yeah, I think we should definitely get him on the show as well. His YouTube channel's taken off. He's been doing a lot of countdown videos recently and top tens. So yeah, StooTube. Check him out on YouTube as well. STOOTOOB.
Yeah. Oh, and while we're there, I guess since we mentioned some of the other things that people are working on, we'll take a quick flip back. Alice is obviously very heavily involved with comedy in Bristol. I know she works a lot of the improv theatre. I think they have a D&D comedy improvisation show, and obviously we know her most famously for her work with the Bristol Bad Film Club, which are back doing live events again now. Had I not moved hundreds of miles away, I would be at every single one of them. They're always so much fun, and they always raise some good money for either theatre or for charity causes as well. So really, really great stuff.
I need to get back to them. The Bristol Bad Film Club nights, they're always good fun. Oh, Ben has also commented on the YouTube chat. He says, "Shit the bed, haha, thanks guys."
Guessing from when we called him out, yeah, and he's probably concentrating now on IMDb 8 horror movies. But I will give you the next couple.
Okay.
Hey gang, it's Georgie, and I want to say a huge, massive congratulations on 200 episodes of Horror Hangout. I cannot thank you enough for giving me a platform to talk about how Jennifer's Body is the greatest film ever, as well as all the other films we've spoken about. And I gotta say, the episode we recorded for the Valks podcast on The Thing is one of my favourites. You guys love what you do so much, and you're always a joy to listen to. So here's to 200 more episodes of Horror Hangout. Love you, bye.
Take number 450. Hey guys, my name is Steven. I don't know why I sounded like an old-timey radio host right there. I just wanted to call and say congratulations on 200 episodes of the podcast. I love the podcast. I came across you guys sometime last year. So I listened to your guys' Exorcist episode, and I loved it. I was like, this has everything I want. You guys are breaking down the movie. You would have little, I guess, listening to you guys, I feel like I'm literally hanging out. It is in the name, Horror Hangout, because I feel like we're all in the backyard just drinking booze and just talking shit about a movie. Not talking shit in a bad way, but just shooting the shit, I guess they say. Somebody says that. After listening to your guys' opinions on some of the movies, or when you guys would break it down, I would go back and watch all these movies and just sort of opened up like my horizons. Is that the right word? I'm glad I found you guys. Just because, it's nice to know that there are horror movie junkies out there like me. And, when it first started out with the two of you guys, with Luke and Ben, then you would have guests, and then Andy, it's sort of just completed that trifecta. So I, hope you guys keep going for as long as they continue to make horror movies.
So there's another couple. Georgie up first. Heather didn't have a chance to record anything, but obviously we kind of lump. We know Georgie and Heather together from the work they were doing on the Valkyries at the time. Great guests, both of them. I think I've been on at the same time as Heather. I've not been on at the same time as Georgie, though. But their episodes are always so much fun to listen to. They are great, really great guests.
and we did the episode on the thing on their podcast. What
Yeah.
was the is it just Heather's done the quiz then? Has Georgie not done the quiz?
No, I think the time that you did the quiz together, I think Georgie had like a clash that day, so Heather just came and it was a triple threat that
It
day.
was a triple threat rather than a team. Yeah, that was lovely.
We
Great
should-
person, Georgie. Always have fun when she comes on the show. So
Yeah.
really do appreciate it.
Yeah, both of those guys are great. And then Stephen, we
Stephen,
haven't heard
yeah.
from before. He is one of our listeners on the Facebook group. He was very happy to send a message over. I know he posts on the group sometimes. I will send you guys his full message. So, like he had a longer message. I had to cut it down for time here tonight, so so I wasn't playing messages for too long. But he mentioned like a lot of things that he likes about the show. He is a big fan of the name game, Luke. He loves the trivia. He loves the quiz episodes as well. I can take that one as a congratulations as well. And he hopes we do another one soon. We will do another one soon. I think everyone that's listening, as we run up to Halloween, Ben mentioned, obviously we work on other podcasts as well. So Halloween has us all very busy in the horror fiction world. But I think sometime between Halloween ending and it being Christmas and the end of the year, we'll get another quiz episode down.
We need to organise one because I keep challenging people. Every time there's a guest, I challenge them, don't I? So
yeah, who have you challenged recently? So you've mentioned it already. We need to give you a match against Georgie at some point.
Yeah.
Now, whether she returns with Heather and it's a reunion of those guys or a different partner, someone else you've challenged.
So
you challenged Emily. You challenged Emily Booth when she was on with us.
Emily Booth. I think I challenged the My Turn podcast guys as well.
Yeah.
Probably everyone who's got within. I think we haven't done a quiz against the Trash Tapes guys ever, have we?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
You should remember that, Ben. It was
Ben.
It was your great. It was your victory.
Victory. I don't remember the victories. You see, I just remember the crushing defeats, which was just once.
I bet you don't remember that time you got super drunk on wine.
That was so good.
I definitely don't, and it is on YouTube. But I will never, ever, ever return.
Guys, if you anyone who's listening, I know that based on the numbers, more people listen to this than watch it, right? But I would recommend that if anyone doesn't usually watch the video, because mostly you need your ears for this, go and watch was it between Christmas and New Year it was the quiz for the end of the year, and
I think it might have been just before Christmas.
Was it just before Christmas? So Christmas season. It was holiday 2020. So we had this. We had the quiz. I think it's one of the longest things we've done, right? Because it took us so long to get through a quiz while we were all drinking.
I think we did a pre-show as well.
Yeah, we did a pre-show. We talked about films of the year, and then we did this quiz. But honestly, guys, I would recommend, if you never usually watch the videos, watch that one, because it's a good quiz. I'll give it. I'm not too proud to say that. It's a good quiz. We had some fun making it, and then by the end, Ben is absolutely fucked up, having drunk 2 bottles of red wine.
Yeah. 23rd of December. I don't know how I'm helping people find it, but yeah, so it was like nearly 3 hours worth of quiz, and we did like a bonus episode for like an hour and a half before that. So it's a lot of horror content, a lot of drinking.
It's like the big fat quiz of the year, but more fun.
But
that's already pretty fun. Yeah, and then towards the end, Ben's just like disappearing into the background.
Yeah. I didn't. well, Ben Scaife on YouTube just says Ben should do a reaction video to that episode. Wine o'clock. I don't think I'd do it like. I'd have to watch it first to know if it was appropriate for me to react to, just because I don't think it was that bad. I think it would just been embarrassing, like big red bloated face, like all swaying,
just like looking at like jaded by the end. I got another couple. I'll play these before we wrap this up.
Okay.
John Crin here. Just wanted to send a quick message to congratulate you on hitting 200 episodes. That's an incredible achievement. I've said it both online and offline to you guys. Horror Hangout is one of my very, very few must-listen podcasts. It is so much fun to listen to, and it's even more fun to be a guest. I remember all my appearances very fondly, especially the Nice Chianti Horror Hangout crossover, which honestly was the most fun that I've ever had on a podcast, and I've been on a few. Speaking of which, I'm actually still waiting on my trophy. I don't know if you guys have sent it. I haven't had any, delivery attempts. I haven't had the little card through the post, so I'm guessing you haven't sent it yet. If you need an up-to-date address or anything like that for me, just let me know. I'm sure it's in the mail. I don't really know what's happened there. But anyway, congrats on hitting 200 episodes, guys. Very much looking forward to listening to 200 more.
Horror Hangout, 200 episodes. Wow, you guys just keep knocking it out the park. I love the show. I've been a fan since probably the beginning. I've listened to most of the episodes, and I got the opportunity to be on your show several times. Who could forget when Johan and I, from the Trash Tapes, brought spookies to the table. We chatted to the Horror Hangout guys about farting dusty monsters and an exploding Grim Reaper. How you can't get any better than that. That is it. And I've been on the quiz. Let's not talk about that because that was terrible. And I've talked about American Psycho with you guys. And now I've got to go because I've got to return some videotapes.
And that is me done for messages right now. Obviously,
amazing.
What
first
cool voices.
we had
amazing voices. Both of those guys have.
Yeah, we had John Crinnan up first, current quiz champion.
Yeah,
I mean, do you need to challenge John back to win the title back? Is it like a belt rather than a thing?
That's a great idea. Yeah, that might be it. I mean, I'm assuming you're in charge of the trophy, though, Andy. Right? We can't take blame for that.
Well, real life horrors. Sucked in, John. I did send you a trophy, but I sent it by Yodel. You'll never see it again.
What is it, like a cardboard belt? Or
it should be a belt.
No, it's like the Horror Hangout quiz trophy. It's like it's a very grand trophy. Like, I mean, you can't see it, like, and it's beyond some people's imagination. But for those of you who have a powerful imagination, do close your eyes and just picture something with the splendor of Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, but as if it had double the amount of stones in it. And it's just holding a crystal skull like the people of Atlantis might make. Wow. If you were to look upon it for too long, you wouldn't go blind, but you'd go mad. You're mad so that your brain, even though there's no physical injury, would disconnect your eyes from your mind because it'd be too much to take in.
It's imaginary, right? Did you say?
I had to have it. It's not imaginary. It's
real, but it's recommended to imagine it rather than see it.
It's recommended to imagine it because I had to have it crafted by just kind of senseless artisans. Only one active sense each.
They made me a coffee this morning.
You definitely found them in Bristol. You definitely found them in Bristol, didn't you? You just went to.
Oh yeah, at the. I went at the market. Just up in Corn Street Market. Went around there, found some artisans, and they crafted that for us. It was too dangerous though, so I've had to just shift it one plane of reality over.
Yeah.
So the holder of it can only kind of see an ethereal shape. So John, actually, if you look at your mantelpiece and you notice that if you put your hand at one part of your mantelpiece, assuming you have one, if you just notice there's like a feeling when you hold your hand over that area of the mantle there. That's where the trophy sits.
And if you can't feel anything, then it's
means you're not worthy
for not imagining.
Yeah, you've knocked it off.
Powerfully enough. You've dropped it.
Only those worthy can feel it.
Smushed
you broke it,
in pieces. That was lovely.
When the next quiz comes round, it's like the Silver Surfers board. I can just summon it back to me, ready to distribute it to the next thing. I'll say, "To me, my trophy," and then over the horizon it will come.
like Kratos and his axe.
Yeah. I'll summon it back, and then it'll be ready to go to the next champion. Maybe back to you guys. Maybe to one of the hundreds of people at this point that you've challenged.
We've got to win it back. We've got to win it back before the year's out because We can't have gone a whole year without it. We'll be losing our powers.
Yeah.
As horror experts.
The source of all the power. I mean, I'm not one to crave fan art necessarily, but if anyone does want to try, if you have an imagination and a pen powerful enough to draw an image of that trophy, then by all means,
yeah,
please do. I'd love to see it.
Draw it in blue biro.
Somewhere not in your mind.
But thanks very much, John. Thanks very much, Ed. Obviously, always a pleasure when you guys.
Of course, yeah. That last message from Ed as well. Like, I don't think he mentions his name in the recording there. So yeah, good old Ed and Johan as well. Great guests, and I love their podcast as well. The Trash Tapes is always a good laugh.
Always a good time. And on Enigmatic, the Enigmatic Play channel, but also the main Enigmatic channel as well. They're putting out loads
Twitch
of
channel
Halloween
as well.
content. Twitch as well, yeah, almost every week. They're firing it out in October as well. So there's loads of cool stuff to look at and recommend. So
yeah, and there are so many guests that we weren't able to get time to get anything recorded from them, but I caught up with pretty much everyone who's ever been on the show, and like everyone was so was full of congratulations for you reaching your 200 episodes, guys. So lots of folks keen to be on again, the sort of one-time guests as well. So there's loads more to come as well, right? I know there's loads of people that we've met in various circumstances or have been fans of their work that we'd like to have on sometime. So yeah,
loads
more to come.
But yeah, thanks to everybody for those lovely messages. Obviously, it means a lot for you to not just be listening, but to take the time to send us a message as well. So that's lovely. I feel
it's cool to hear people's voices. I mean, like I know John and Ed's voices and that quite well, but like voices like Stephen and Troy, I've spoken to them on the internet so many times, but I've never heard the voices. So it's
true.
Quite nice. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. Really, really cool. I guess now we've got questions from listeners as well. We do have quite a lot. Are we going to go through all of them?
I don't know. I don't think because there's like 20 or something.
Let's go through all of them, but like let's not make our answers last too long. As long as we answer.
Yeah. We'll rattle through.
Let's rattle
Speedy.
through.
It's quick fire. It's like the speed round. Come on.
Moderate. Let's not. Yeah, I might need a bit of time to think sometimes. So yeah.
I went like, no.
we put, no, absolutely not. We put questions, a Q&A sort of out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, the Facebook group. So we got quite a few back, which is lovely. We will rattle through as many as we can. So, do you want me to read them out?
You just do a round robin. Should we just take it in turns?
Yeah.
Read them out.
Have you got them all in front of you?
Yeah.
Let me get I'll bring it up on thingies. Let me go last.
So the first person was Laura Kendrick, who's fairly new to the Facebook Horror Hangout group, I believe. Author, and she's got some author, and also loves a lip sync on Instagram. If you follow her on Instagram, Better Late Than Novel, she loves a lip sync, almost daily lip syncs. So get if you enjoy those, that's where to go. So the first question, she says, what are your favorite horror comedies?
Yeah. For the longest time it was Shaun of the Dead. Not even just like favorite horror comedy, but like maybe like one of my favorite movies. But then we did Horror Hangout and we did Dead Alive at some point. I think that was in the top 50 of all time. And now that film, I don't know what I still love Shaun of the Dead, but Dead Alive, I don't know what it is about the film. It's so silly and like so bombastic and over the top. I just love it so much, and it gives me great joy. Or maybe Cabin in the Woods. I don't know. There's a lot, but Dead Alive is up there. Cabin in the Woods is up there as well.
Powerful answers, Luke. What about you, Ben?
So Shaun of the Dead, it always seems like the most obvious one to go to, but it really is that damn good. So it's a toss-up between Shaun of the Dead and What We Do in the Shadows for me, because I feel like
that's good.
What We Do in the Shadows it captured a vibe of comedy that I absolutely loved, and the fact that it's kind of like continues in the series, and the fact that the series is now like on series 4, maybe series 3, maybe, and 4 has been confirmed. Yeah, the fact that we're getting more and more of it is just amazing. So I love that.
For me, I will throw in there, and again, all the ones you guys have just mentioned are fantastic. Definitely some of my favourites. I will add to that Army of Darkness. Fantastic slapstick. Takes that step into comedy even further than Evil Dead 2 does. It's brilliant. The bit where there's loads of little ashes chasing around that cabin is so good. Or the bit when he's forgotten the magic words. I love it. And then maybe I'll stick with Sam Raimi again and say, like, there is an awful lot that leans into comedy. The horror is definitely capitalized here, but Drag Me to Hell is very funny in a number of places. It's very, very funny in a number of places. So maybe I'll stick with those.
There are a lot of films that we've done which I think have got like unexpected comedy moments as well, which are always a nice surprise when they
Sleepaway Camp. Yeah, Sleepaway Camp and the fake mustache.
Unexpected, but yeah.
Maybe also unintended.
That's unintended, yeah.
What's the next question?
Laura also asks, what is the most brutal way to die? So I guess, like, what is a way that you would least want to die?
I've never died, so I wouldn't know what the most brutal way to die is. But I've always kind of thought being like slowly crushed. One thing that sticks with me, and I'm gonna be one of Laura's favourite films is The Mummy. I'm pretty sure this isn't The Mummy Returns though, but there's obviously a bit where the ceiling is coming down, and there's a moment where you see all the treasure like getting crushed, and for some reason that's always stuck with me, and I've always thought it would be, because it's coming down quite slow. I've always thought it'd be horrible to just get crushed very, very slowly.
Bad enough getting your treasure crushed.
I could never get killed that way because I have this weird superpower. If there's a pylon or something, I don't know what happens, but I get incredible strength and I can get out. I can get out of them. So in that situation, I've just pushed the wall back, pushed the ceiling back up.
Like a mum when her kid's trapped under a car, you could lift up the hatch back.
Bowels let go, but I'll be alive and stinky.
Yeah. But I thought when you said you had a superpower, you were going to say, I can be entirely two-dimensional. I can squash down to nothing.
Come on.
Yeah, but you'd just be stuck there. Just a thin, squashed bit of paper.
You're like Parappa forevermore.
Breathe.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great, actually. My most brutal way to die, I would say, the least way I want to die, the ending of Wicker Man. So he's in, spoiler alert, but the guy is put in like a Wicker Man sort of thing. Like the reason that's so like scary to me is because he doesn't even believe in what these guys believe in. They're sacrificing him for like peaches or some sort of fruit. I can't remember what it is now. But like they're killing him for something he doesn't even believe in, and they're burning him alive, surrounded by like screaming goats and chickens. And also they start like holding hands and like singing sweetly to each other as he's like screaming like prayers. It just sounds horrendous to me.
Could have been worse as well, because I bet he's really kicking himself. He could have had sex with the landlord's daughter, and then it wouldn't have happened because they're only sacrificing for the virgin.
Yeah,
I don't even believe in Wicker Man, and I'm getting burned alive in one.
Oh, the irony! Alanis Morissette comes on, isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like, I do think.
I really do.
For me, I don't know. Lowered feet first into a Christmas tree shredder. I guess that'd be pretty bad.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
That's because you'd be being specific. You thought about that previously.
Yeah,
you've had nightmares about that.
No, just it was just a conversation that we've had in the pub to make sure that you understand the worst possible way to die. I reckon that would be pretty bad. I think you'd pass
out pretty quick, though, if you were.
Well, you wouldn't be dead until. What if someone put like some painkillers in you?
To the chin, then I reckon
die. I reckon you'd be dead. I reckon you might live until it gets to like mid torso height.
Just screaming up to there.
Do you know what I used to do when I used to work in B&Q? I used to put myself through the
shredder,
the Christmas tree shredder,
the Christmas tree netting machine. You know that it's not a machine; it's just like a sort of circular thing. You just have to try and run and dive through it and completely miss the sides and get netted. But then you're completely at odds with like everybody else around you because there's nothing you could do. So they tie you up in it, leave you there,
take you home, put you. Decorate
me.
Stick some lights around you.
Stick it. Just put an angel.
Sell you to a family. There you go. This is one for you.
So what I'm saying is that could have happened to me. I could have ended up in a shredder. People might have misjudged me.
God, it's a Christmas tree. Oh, this one's wrong. It's all
Get him
pink and
in.
fleshy. Whack it in the shredder.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. Just of loneliness. That's pretty horrible.
Yeah, I'd say if you got eroded by eroded slowly over time by like a fist, just not hard enough to kill you, but just like they just erode you away, like you convex, you cave in.
Are you all right?
Just
No, I'm
just
getting
tapping
absolutely
you with a
bad.
spoon like an
Oh
egg.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that'd be horrible. Oh yeah, there's that YouTube video, the spoon killer guy.
Oh.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a guy who it's like a comedy sketch based on like the ring. Someone gets cursed and there's like a demon that follows people, and he just hits them with a spoon over and over again until they die.
No.
Dong.
Humpty Dumpty's them.
Dessert spoon? Teaspoon?
I think it was from memory teaspoon. I feel like it was a smaller spoon.
Okay.
Then his final form, he gets like a big old ladle.
Yeah.
Other than that, like real life death, like there was a story once about the time there's a big silo full of molasses or treacle that exploded and it like
tasty.
leaked and it moves incredibly slowly, but about half a dozen people drowned. Can you imagine? It'd be like the blob has got you.
But they tasted delicious.
Drowning in treacle. You'd be like, fuck! Oh, it's got me!
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess that'd be because when you drown in real, like normal water, apparently it's quite fast because you inhale the water. It goes into your lungs straight away and you're out. But treacle, you're inhaling for ages.
Yeah.
And it's got to take ages to get in your lungs. Yeah, that does.
You'd be trying to eat it as much as you could. You'd have
Eat
to.
your
You'd
way
be trying to
out,
eat
yeah.
it at first until you were full.
Oh, it's too sickly. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, you're gonna die! Oh no, I can't. I gotta have a lay down.
It's too rich. Give some milk, please.
So you've got to try and, like, if you're drowned in treacle, your best hope is to try and eat yourself into a diabetic coma before you drown.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the worst for me.
Nice.
Okay.
What else does Laura say? Andy, do you want to read this bad boy out?
Right, Laura says, what Stephen King book scared you the most?
Well.
Scared or scarred? Is that any different?
Well,
she does say scarred, but yeah, I'd take either.
I read it as scared. I was going to say, I don't think I've ever been that scared by a Stephen King book.
You cut my finger on a copy of it. Fucking hell.
But Gerald's Game definitely had the scene that I found the most difficult to read. Like, I remember reading the handcuff scene, and I was reading it on a bus, and I had to keep like stopping every other sentence because it was making me feel that ill. In a good way, like a fun kind of
ill.
Yeah.
It's compelling stuff, isn't it? It's hard to, like, you don't want to see it, but also you don't want to look away. For me, I've not read some of his longer things because there's a lot of old pages, and I'm a terrible reader because I mostly read at bedtime, and then it makes me dead sleepy, dead tired. So unless I'm on holiday, I don't get to read as much as I'd like. But I have read some of his short story collections as well. I've read there's one story in Everything's Eventual, and I don't relate to the guy in the other ways. I don't play golf on the golf course, but there is a guy who is assumed dead but is just paralyzed from like a spider bite, and he's in the morgue, the autopsy room, and they're about to basically cut his chest open and examine him. They would, of course, found him not to be dead, and it's incredibly tense. And it's something that I dwelled on at the time as I was reading. Oh, imagine that, stuck in the thing and being autopsied because you're just paralyzed for a bit. That's pretty awful. So yeah, that's that. And I guess I was also a little bit scared/scarred by the adaptation of the Tommyknockers because it's got them horrible dollies in it that get the policewoman. They're no good.
Bloody dollies. I don't know if scared. There was a moment in The Shining which I think the way it described the woman in 237, and I remember there was like the description when she like put her horrible undead bloated foot on like a bath mat, and the way Stephen King sort of described that really made me like, ooh. Oh, like that.
And the hotel's only got one
That sounds
caretaker.
nice.
They ain't washing them as often as they should.
Yeah.
We hotel inspector around. Ugh.
Very squishy. But also, I remember when I first started reading The Dark Tower, I bought the first 3 books because obviously I didn't know if I was going to love it or not. I guess 3 books in.
So I'll just buy 3.
I just buy 3. Could have just bought 1, but no, it was evil. And at the end of book 3, The Wastelands, when like everybody's on the train called Blaine, who's gone insane. It ends on a cliffhanger.
Blame the train.
It ends on blame the train. It ends on a cliffhanger, and I remember being like, "Oh my god, what's going to happen?" Like they're in some sort of riddle battle, aren't they? They're trying to work out some riddles with Blaine.
Yeah.
And it ends on a cliffhanger, and I remember being like, "Oh no! Oh my god! I got to get the next one." And I think it was like early days of ordering from Amazon or somewhere like that, and I ordered it, and I remember just like waiting for ages, just thinking, I just want to read the first few pages to work out what happens next. That's all I need. So maybe not scarred or scared, but definitely stressed.
Yeah,
stressed by that one. I've not engaged with the Dark Tower, and I keep going back to it. I've just bought the first one, and I want to read it.
That's the easiest to read. That's like the smallest one, right?
Yeah.
It's digital. I got a digital copy, so I can't tell.
Gunslinger's teeny tiny, yeah.
Kindle's the same size.
Right. We better fly through some of these now.
Right, let's do this next one.
Okay. You got it, Ben?
So favorite episode of Laura again. Favorite episode of Inside Number 9, if you've seen it, and favorite Black Mirror episode.
12 Days of Christine, which is just an amazing episode, like a really emotional episode, and Playtest, which is like the scary horror, which has like 5 horror endings. All great. Really good.
Andy?
I've not seen Inside Number 9. It's still on my everlasting list of things to watch. As for Black Mirror, do I have a different answer to Luke? Maybe I don't. Maybe it's the same one.
I feel like that's the one for more standard horror movie fans. Playtest kind of ticks all the boxes for us.
Yeah. My favourite... So I've not seen Inside Number 9 either. Silly me, I know. It's definitely something I need to get around to. My favourite episode is White Christmas, because there are genuinely some moments that like I can't even comprehend. Like that's how horrific they are. You know the moment... try not to spoil it. But you know the moment where there's obviously the little AI, which is a version of you, and he makes it wait in that room for months and months and months as a punishment.
Yeah.
Like that is horrific. Like I can't even comprehend that. That is just a baffling scenario, and it hurts me. And also the end of White Christmas, when there's a reveal of sorts, probably hit me as hard as any reveal in any movie or TV show ever, where I was just like, oh my god, I cannot believe it. So White Christmas.
Cool. Next question from Laura again is favorite old school monster.
Probably just Frankenstein, I think. He's tragic.
Tragic.
Chucks a kid in the river, you know?
Yeah.
That's what...
Yeah.
You don't give a shit.
I can't remember why he does that.
I can't remember why he does that now.
For me, if we're talking universal monsters, I would say a Dracula. Love a Dracula. If I can broaden the term, old school monsters, if it's not just universal, Big G, Godzilla himself. It's the monster, the king of the monsters.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I'm just going to go with Nosferatu, just because he looks like he's constantly surprised, and he's put his foot in the bath was way hotter than he thought he was going to be. Oh.
See the price of a train. That's what he's done.
And I feel like I could cosplay him, so
let's see it, please, Luke. Come on.
That was a swift answer. Do you want me to go through and start? So Ben Scape is on. How did you all end up doing this?
Ben sends us an invite to the Zoom call, and then we
all just turn up, I suppose.
Turn up. Sometimes we watch the movie.
Yeah.
The origins of this are weird, because obviously we were already doing a fiction podcast, and I think we just thought, wouldn't it be nice to do another podcast? Me and Luke both like horror.
Oh, go on. Sorry, you go on.
Me and Luke both like horror. Let's talk about horror movies. The top 50? Oh, yeah, that'd be great. We can watch all 50 and talk about them. Brilliant. It was as easy as that, honestly. And then I guess we kind of like found our footing in terms of like everything else. We already had a bit of knowledge, obviously, about podcasts and publishing them and building an audience. So we just used that expertise, I guess. And there we go. And then Andy got yanked into it.
Yeah, turned up for one. I had a lot of fun times doing it. Hopefully, he didn't get off that call and get fucking hell. That's the last we've seen of this guy. Because if that was what you said, then
just a year later,
sucks to be him.
Host.
He treated the podcast like an after-work drink. He went, "I'm just gonna turn up for one. I'm just gonna have one, just one little delicious, cold, crisp pint of San Miguel." And then he loved it so much. He's like, "Get me another."
Yeah, before you know it, you've got a real podcasting problem. We talked about this at the top. I kind of turned up and joined in with your guys' chat. Enjoyed having it. And hopefully, you guys enjoyed having me around, and the listeners enjoyed it. And now, here all the bloody time.
Yeah, here all the time. There we go. You were going to say something, Luke, about it as well? Can't remember.
Can't remember now. I think I was going to say the same thing. We had the top 50 list, and we just did that. Who's goes it next?
I think it's you again, Luke.
Okay. So another one from Ben Scaife. If you had to be a victim in a horror film, what film would it be? Basically, who would you like to kill you? Oh, I misread this when I said it previously. Who would you like to kill you?
I don't think you want anyone to kill you, really, but I guess Natasha Henstridge in Species, because you
just get a spike in the head after you've been sexed up.
But you get sexed up as well, don't you? I know that sounds like a real cliche answer, but to be fair, like there's no good way to die. So at least die in your post-orgasm state of where life is all right, In those first few minutes, life's all right, isn't it? In those first few minutes,
but then there's a few seconds where things go. Oh, I'm not sure if this is all right. Whereas I'm trying to think, is there like a film where someone just instantly popped, just popped, like a balloon?
Okay. Yeah,
that's what I'd be up for that.
I mean, those people don't look like they're enjoying. They're not enjoying the blob, are they? When they get done.
That's not nice.
What if you get demon knighted? Are they dead when they're possessed by the man?
I feel like their souls are in hell.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
The best one to be killed by. That's a real tough one.
What about being squashed by the glass in Final Destination 2? Because
that'd be okay actually, because so quick.
You're just like, oh shit, smush.
I don't want that though. I don't even want the oh shit. I just want to be snuffed.
Death is really sadistic in those plans. Like the way they get done in the Final Destination plans, it would have been so much better just to be exploded in a plane accident early.
It would be a good one. Have you seen what's the film where they're on a work trip through Hungary and they're on a bus and they sell weapons? What's that one called?
Severance.
Severance. Yeah, I was going to say that.
So Severance. There's a guy in that who is having an argument because he says if someone gets beheaded, then they're still alive for a little bit after they get beheaded. No one believes it, but when he gets beheaded, he smiles because he's still alive. I feel like at least you've won an argument as you're dying.
But no one remembers. No one remembers the argument, so he's the only one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, that's a good one. I think Ben's probably nailed it with if you're going to die, then maybe get Species. Or maybe, who does get you nice and quick? The Predator. Just explode you with that cannon. That'd be all right.
Does he have sex with you first? No?
No, but it's pretty quick. And
it depends
you'd be going on. You'd obviously get to be a trophy.
That's true.
Someone's going to really value you.
I'm also just thinking, before this, do you know that you're going to die after Natasha Henstridge Species is due? Because I don't reckon I could perform.
Wait. But do you know before or after?
Well, yeah.
At what point?
In this scenario, where I've signed up to be killed.
Yeah.
By
all right. Bring on the death.
Bring on the death.
Come on.
Yeah, because you could.
Sorry, she's not always like this.
Because you could potentially.
It's like playing pool. Length for rope.
Are you hoping you'd find a way out of it? You can go. Just nip into the bathroom, Natasha Henstridge, and then out the window down the thing.
I want to escape. I can escape. Okay.
So there's a way out.
So,
Cool.
Yeah, hope that answers your question, Ben.
thanks, Ben. Moving swiftly on, we've heard from Troy Bursch. So he's got quite a few questions. So let's rattle through these because we want.
We'll do them swift. One word or titles.
Worst horror movie you've seen?
Difficult. I'm leaning on. Oh no, maybe Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark.
I think Alone in the Dark is one because it's nonsensical and it was boring. So there was that.
I've seen a film called Autumn that has Dexter Fletcher in it. Look up the trailer on YouTube, guys. So it's called Autumn. All I will say is that I am glad I was in a rented flat when I watched that film because I feel like having it in the house reduced its value.
Wait, is it a horror film?
Yeah. Absolute shite.
Wow.
And Dexter Fletcher works behind the camera now, and he's a good sort. But it is, my God, it is excruciating. And I love a bad movie. Talk to me about Infested with the pink Power Ranger in it. Love it. But Autumn, my God, that is awful.
And I guess.
But there we go.
I mean, anything Uwe Boll is probably one of the worst because I think House of the Dead was equally shit. I remember not being a fan of like one of George Romero's like latter movies, maybe
Diary of the Dead.
Yeah, I think I remember being very, very upset with that. And then following on from that, what movie did you guys give an F on?
That is
Alone in the Dark.
That was Alone in the Dark, wasn't it?
Is that the only? Is that the only one?
The Unnameable, maybe.
Yeah.
The Unnameable, you did give a low listing to. Tell you what, when you answer the next one, I'll bring up the spreadsheet and I'll tell you.
Cool.
What horror movie? I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll do all of Troy's. Just to save confusion.
Right.
What horror movie has been on your list for 6 months or more and you still haven't seen? I made a list of like horror movie sequels that I wanted to see. I probably made that list over a year ago. So I think there's like The Omen 2 and 3 on there, which I've never seen. What else?
To do on the show or to just watch?
I guess just to watch.
Okay, interesting. I thought you meant to do on the show. I don't know. I mean, I just tend to watch it these days.
The Fly. I tell you what, the Fly 2 has been on my list for a long, long time.
It's cool that film.
And I watched it for the first time fairly recently, only a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's not a patch on the original, and it's obviously a very different film. But yeah, that took a long time for me to get around to. Not sure why. It's mainly sequels, I think. Well, it's sequels that I don't realize exist, and I go, "Oh, there's a sequel to that. Oh, I would like to watch that." But I'm not quite interested enough to actually do it. But yeah.
There was Cemetery Man was on my list for quite a while, but I managed to watch that. I really enjoyed it. So I think maybe I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to come back on that one, I think.
Yeah. Any for you, Andy, that you've had on your list?
Like films I've had on list list I've had for a long time. There've been films that I've been meaning to watch, but I have to have the time to watch them properly. There's No One Sleeps in the Woods Tonight, which is the Polish horror slasher movie. I've had that on my list for a while, but I need to be able to concentrate properly on subtitles, so that has had to wait a little bit. But yeah, that's it really. I'm the same as you. There are definitely more films that have been on my list for a long time, but yeah, I think that's the one that really stands out by and large, especially with the show. You have excuses to bring these up. The two films you guys have had Fs for aside before we got that one. So Alone in the Dark was one that you both gave an F- to, and then Ouija, so the 2014.
Oh my God!
one.
Yes.
Yeah. You gave it an F, Ben. Luke gave it an E.
I don't really remember that one. I don't remember many films.
You liked it infinitely more than Ben. You give it a whole grade higher.
I remember it being one of the most contrived, just a fucking pit. Sorry to swear. Just a piss take of a film.
Session 9. I've been meaning to watch that for ages. Never. For some reason, I've never got around to it.
That's good. I like Session 9.
What else has Troy got for us?
What else does Troy say? So he says, how long does it take to do an episode from start to finish? Not really much longer than the actual length of the episode, I guess. I guess you taking into, prep in terms of watching the film. Obviously, Luke, you have to do some name game prep. But I think we're pretty streamlined in terms of it. Like if we had to watch a film the day before and then record the next night.
That's true. We have to actually watch the film.
Yeah.
So that does take some time. I would say 4.5 hours for me normally.
Average bit of challenge. Yeah, you're right. Like, I'm glad that it's one of the things that people that listen enjoy, because we don't have an excruciating editing process, where we're getting this to a tight 1 hour podcast. I'm sure we could if we had all the infinite time and resources in the world, musical stings between, but we don't have to do that, which is very nice.
I think it's that
it's watching the films
hangout element, isn't it? That we like to recreate. So we don't want it to be too overproduced.
Don't be too overproduced. But yeah, it does.
Have you guys ever not watched a film and still done a podcast on it?
No,
I don't think so.
That'd be my rule. I'd always watch it. I think that biggest challenge this year was certainly Fear Street, getting ready for that whole trilogy to be able to go through it.
I guess what I mean is, you've seen the film before, but perhaps you don't do the rewatch before we.
I've always rewatched it, even if I've seen the film. Like with Beetlejuice in a few weeks, I will watch it.
There's been a time where I think I'd watched the film 2 weeks before the recording, but
yeah. Oh, I've
that's
done that.
That's like the maximum. Any longer than that, I kind of forget what.
Yeah.
I've got a really bad memory, I'm realizing.
So I think the process for me is a little bit longer, because obviously I tend to export the video, and now I do highlight reels videos, and now I've been exporting the name game. So a couple of extra hours on top of that, I think. But I tend to spread it out across the week, so we've always got the podcast content going out there. And I guess with the Patreon now, we're just going to be doing some extra bits. But I think we've made it nice and streamlined, so that now we're going to be recording this bonus stuff. It's not going to be massive amounts of effort, so we should just be able to get it onto the feed fairly quickly. There we go.
Cool.
So Troy also says, last question, what movie do you blow your beans over, and what movie shit the bed? I've always shit the bed over The Exorcist, just because it is fucking terrifying, I also blow my beans over it.
What horror movie shit the bed? I think he means
like demonic did the other week. So the ones that absolutely
demonic,
fuck it.
Or that escape room movie.
Escape room comes to mind because we mentioned that quite a lot. That it shit the bed.
It just shit the bed. Demonic definitely, because it was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. This is absolutely terrible. What movie do you blow your beans over? Species again, I'm going to say, and I'm joking.
Yeah, literally, when it came out when you were a teenager.
Yeah.
Well,
I told you about a time we put a tin of beans on a fire, right? And I think I told you ages.
Yeah, I remember this.
And that tin of beans exploded over your copy of In the Mouth of Madness.
Well, the tin lid rocketed across the roof, across the campsite. And slapped me in the neck, and then I got loads of red stuff over my neck, and I thought it slashed me up.
Oh, bean juice!
Just bean juice.
What brand was it? Heinz?
I don't know. It's probably Heinz.
Oh, yeah,
it's probably had sausages in there. It might have even been one of those all-day breakfast. When you go to Download Festival or any festival, you just take whatever tins of food.
Was it a Download Festival?
Yeah.
Oh wow, amazing. Ben has just commented on the YouTube chat again. He says, can't think of an 8th film to join you guys on, but there is one film I've heard of that I think you guys might like to do on your podcast. It's called Autumn.
If we watch Autumn, Ben, you're coming on for this. You're going to suffer it with us. I'm going to drag you to hell with me.
Can it just be Ben and you, Andy? Just you two sat out. You son of a...
Me just shouting, "What have you done?
What have you done?" So I guess, does that answer all of Troy's?
Yeah, movie. I like just for a quick answer. Movie I blew my beans over. I was so surprised and delighted when I saw Cabin in the Woods, because I knew nothing about it, and it was so surprising and it was great. Shit the bed. Those guys have covered admirably.
Yeah.
The next question, I think, might be a team-based question, because I'm not entirely sure how I would do this. Dan Taylor said, if you were trapped in a wooden cabin with zombies bashing at the door and wolves, what A-team shit would you create in order to get the hell out of there? That's difficult.
What A-team shit would you create? I mean, it depends what's
I've
available
only
to you, wouldn't it?
seen, yeah, I've only seen the A-team once, and they built like a cannon that shot cabbages at the enemy soldiers.
That sounds ideal. Sounds absolutely perfect.
But there's no
Can
cabbages.
the cannon just shoot us over the
Cabbage in the
zombies?
woods.
Cabbage in the woods. Eat your greens. I want to get fired out of a cannon over the zombies. Land perfectly.
escape.
Superhero.
But I don't know where this cannons come from. I mean, so
We'll
I think
make it. We'll build it. We'll build it. They will come.
the cannon in the woods. Okay, so
How else would you escape from the zombies? I think at the same time as in the same way as you would from any unwanted calls at the door, the ultimate solution is just to pretend to be out. So you'd engineer a way, like engineer quickly some curtains, close them.
Engineer some curtains.
Yeah, make them out
how are
of
you?
some-
Are you a good seamstress?
That ain't bad. And, I did home economics at school. It's all right.
Oh yeah.
I'd do the home
Thread a
alone thing.
needle.
Put the black and white movie on. I've seen you smooching with my brother, and then all the zombies would be like
This is great.
running away.
Yeah, what are zombies afraid of? Yeah, just do
Machine guns.
Guns, I think. They should be afraid of guns, really.
Gums?
The biggest enemy.
Afraid of gums, right? They don't like their teeth. I
Yeah.
reckon if I could build a Zorb, you know, those big inflatable ball things.
Yeah.
I've always thought that's the best thing to get away from zombies then, because they're not going to be able to get a purchase on it to get in and like rip you apart.
I don't know how thick like
Is
the
Zorb.
surface of the Zorb. If you armored Zorb,
Yeah,
and you
but you need to sing.
Oh,
Is the thing.
that's
need
what
to
you
sing.
could make. We could use the power of the cultural knowledge of gladiators. We can make atmospheres.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Just-
It's like a big.
It's the game on gladiators
Yeah.
where they're in big metallic hamster balls.
Yeah.
So we'll just put
Oh,
spikes on atmospheres and we'll just run through those. Unless Wolf shows up, we are smashing it. We're escaping.
Unless Wolf the zombie turns
Yeah.
up. Unless the
Wolf-
gladiators turn up
Wolf
as zombies.
zombie gladiators, the worst.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And the
Oh.
referee.
Travelator, and you're running out the travelator. Zombies right at the bottom. Like shit.
Oh,
Zombie
zombie
can't run.
gladiators.
That'd be great.
Referee
oh, no.
John Anderson
Oh
is
no,
there.
Jet, no, Jet, don't eat me, don't eat me.
Don't-
Oh.
Don't catch me on the swinging rings, and I haven't really swung very far at all.
I mean,
Can we change it? Can we
That's
change
a
our
good
answer
answer.
to how you want to be got by zombie jet from
Can
Gladiators?
I get Zombie Jet? Oh no, Wolf's there as well, and Hunter, and Rhino.
Oh, you could get those pugil sticks to fight them off with, as long as Shadow didn't turn up. So basically, Dan, what we'd want is to engineer the equipment from TV program Gladiators, and then I think, unless there are zombie
don't know
gladiators,
how.
we'll escape.
Yeah.
I don't know
Just
how.
from household goods.
Just from household goods you got knocking about in the old cabin. Okay. One more question from listeners then.
Yeah, from Cats and Cucumbers from Twitter. They said, not the most exciting of questions. Come on, Cats and Cucumbers, don't put yourselves down. But how do you three know each other? The chemistry makes for entertaining listening. And to Ben in particular, have you properly enjoyed any films made before your cut-off years? So, obviously that period off your cliffs of quality.
Before my
Ben.
cut-off year sounds like the years when I used to wear like cut-off jeans or something like John Cena.
Yeah, so before Ben started wearing cut-offs like John Cena, have you enjoyed any films before cut-off jeans became available? Then they go on to wish us happy 200th.
Ah.
And there's a little
Absolutely
cake from
lovely.
The Descent
Yeah.
in there as well. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've enjoyed films before.
Yeah,
my
I think
cut-off
that
years.
was like year one. Ben,
Yeah,
right? I think
teething
after
problems.
that
I think that was teething problems. Because I'm pretty sure I enjoyed Nosferatu, if I remember, and that's old. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, that was enjoyable, but it's a different.
Super
experience,
old.
isn't it? It's a completely different experience, and I think that's what I need to do. I need to like reset my brain for like a different sort of experience. Obviously, shorter films, and there's different kind of things that you're looking for in terms of what makes them good and enjoyable. So yeah, that's the case.
I'd like to watch some more old ones. I'd really like to watch one called "The Beast Must Die." It's like a murder mystery where you have to decide who the werewolf is. The Kush is in it. It's got all kinds of stars of old. Yeah.
We should do some more ones. I think there are still a handful of like Universal monster movies we need to do. I know we did The Mummy. That's probably the latest one we've done. But
Wolfman we need to do. I think we're on about that for ages.
The Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
Yeah, but
Wolfman.
The other question, how we know each other. You two knew each other from the Hawk and Cleaver Story Studio beforehand, right? And I met you through this podcast first?
Yeah.
I think,
No, I don't know.
The key to it is that we're all fiction writers, and we've all been involved in some capacity with Hawk and Cleaver, Digital Story Studio over the years, and yeah, we kind of we've got fingers in many pies. Sometimes our hands cross over within those pies. Get off! That's my bit of pie. So yeah, that's it. We collaborate. We collaborate on a lot of things, and I think that this is just another one of the things that we collaborate on.
And despite speaking to each other, at least once a week nowadays, and most days on the Discord and everything, we physically, the three of us, all been in the same space a number of times you can count on your fingers, right?
Yeah, not a lot.
Sticky
Obviously,
pie fingers. I think it's like twice.
stinky pie fingers.
Yeah, but all three of us have been in the same place together. I think I've seen you both individually more times. I know, Ben, in the year we lived in the same city, bumped into you twice in a week that one day.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I nearly gave you
But
credit
yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
You fought me
So
off. I
that's
went,
fine.
come on, you want a bit of it, don't you? No. Yeah. So that's that. That's all the questions from the listeners. Now, we do have roundtable questions of our own. We've got a few each. Did you want to just do one each? Or do you want
We might have to.
Yeah,
So,
I think we might have
So
to.
we can get to bed.
So we can
Right.
get to bed. Well, we just don't want to outstay our welcome. You know, there's only a certain amount of hours you can be live on Facebook
we
before they kick you off.
We need more questions for future bonus episodes anyway, so we could always put those in our back pocket.
Save the others up.
Exactly. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, the first on the list is you, Luke. So I guess you want to pick your question out of those.
Your favourite.
Are you sure this is mine? I don't remember writing this. If you could write the tie-in novelization of any big franchise horror or horror franchise, what would you choose?
That's a good question. That is a good question. What do you reckon, Andy?
It's really hard to say because the initial reaction is, wouldn't it be good to write something new for the thing? But I feel that I'd become part of the problem, and I feel is entirely unnecessary. So instead, I'm going to say I'd love to write a bit of Freddy, because I think you could have some fun. You could do some fun dream type scape killings.
Yeah.
And
like
you could
puns,
make him
like
dialogue.
Yeah,
You get some good pun work done, and probably dial back on him calling everyone a bitch a little bit. Come on, Freddy.
Yeah, you in your story, you'd have him come to a kind of, I don't know, like an emotional breakthrough.
Truly come to
being
the point.
so offensive.
I'll stop going for this revenge all the time. I won't say anything that's problematic.
I also think like doing like the dream logic stuff would be really, really cool to write.
You could do. I think a Freddy book would be great because you're not tied by what is able to be made into film, right? Or if then your novel goes back to be made into a film, it's not your problem.
She turned into an inflatable dummy and then got pulled through the window. You can just leave that detail out.
Yeah,
you could just say, "Mum got pulled through the window." It looked really realistic. It looked, honestly, you would have thought the actress
how
had been
realistic
pulled.
it looks, the better it comes across to the reader.
So realistically,
like there's an actual budget to it. If it was a film. Imagine that.
Yeah.
That's what I like to put in all the books out, right? Imagine that.
This in a film. Imagine that. Can you imagine it? No, I'll do a drawing. I'll do a drawing.
If she was to be pulled through the window, it would be like you were looking at Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within times Avatar. That is how expensive it would look.
Yeah. Ben, what about you?
Oh God, Usually you think of your answer whenever people are talking, but I didn't then. I mean, I guess it kind of feels obvious, but I guess not necessarily movies. But in terms of big franchise horror, the thing I know the most about is Resident Evil. So I just feel like tying novelizations, especially to like the latest games like 7 and 8, would be pretty spectacular. But also like expanding on that and expanding on the world as well. Like even going right back to the start, the first games. There's some novelizations by a writer called S.D. Perry, which are really good. Really good, but I don't know. It just feels it's such a different experience reading your favorite game. So yeah, I think Resident Evil, because I feel like I'm familiar with so many of the characters and the rules of the world. I feel like I have a lot more fun with it.
I feel like you could do it as well, Ben. I would hire you to do it.
Oh yeah, I feel like I just write it for myself though. You know, I do some mad shit.
A new character called Ben comes in. He's the coolest. Everyone loves him.
Ben Harrington.
He pictures an even bigger boulder.
Oh, I'm immune from zombies. Yeah.
So you went with one that's like there's a lot of lore there already. I've actually gone for something slightly different. I put either Inside or Little Nightmares, which are the games, because there's like not much there. Like it's all kind of suggested. I feel like there's a lot of room there to. Also, I think Little Nightmares would be a really cool world. I enjoy that kind of Burrows aspect, where they're like small people and big bad people. That'd be cool. I think that'd be cool to write about.
That's a good show.
Nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
Good little collection.
Andy, did you want to go
All right, I'm gonna throw out my last one because we've tied into what we've been talking about here. So again, we mentioned we all write fiction in various forms. So if you were making one horror movie, so you had one shot at doing it. So what subgenre of horror would you want to work on? And if you, assuming that you're not directing it yourself, who would you hire from the world of directors working today, alive or dead, to direct your horror masterpiece? So this isn't about this is a completely new direction. So something you were going to be writing and creating. I feel like I had a guess at what Luke's might be. Maybe you've inspired me for yours, Ben, now, but I was really struggling to pin yours when I was playing the prediction game on my own.
I don't think you would have got mine. Well, mine would be so it's like the subgenre doesn't exist yet. So just picture this in your mind. It's it's dog horror, and it's like all the dogs that are killed in previous films, like because they get killed all the time in horror films, come back to life, and they track down and kill the Hollywood film industry. Like they just go. It's like a creatures attack a town sort of situation, and it's directed by Pixar.
Pixar movie
directed by John Pixar.
Old Billy Pixar. So that's like this is like Luke Condor's new nightmare. Then that's like a kind of meta fiction.
Yeah,
with your
a
Wes Craven Pixar movie.
Yeah.
How about you, Ben?
Do you know what? One of the things I love a lot, one of the movies I love a lot, is Kill List. And it seems to be such a niche sort of genre. So, like, yeah, sure, it's folk horror, but it's also like this horrible, gritty British crime drama that's kind of in there as well. And it's like, I don't know, like Layer Cake, Lock, Stock, something like that. I just think the fact we've only really got one movie like that from Ben Wheatley, I would absolutely love to see more in a world like that where these horrible, diabolical criminals or diabolical characters are involved or embroiled in some sort of twisted folk horror shitstorm. And I reckon you can have a lot of fun with that, especially like dialogue wise. If you're talking about like stuff I enjoy writing the most, writing dialogue between like obviously like Neil Maskell and Michael Smiley's character in Kill List is amazing. I'm sure it was all written by Ben Wheatley, but I go, Ben, can I have a go at doing it on a dialogue and you just make the film? Is that all right? And he's like, sorry, I'm too busy making the Meg 2. And I'll go, oh, please. Oh, I'm going to do a Tomb Raider sequel as well. No, come back and do a different Kill List. Maybe we'll make Kill List 2.
Kill List, yeah.
Kill List 2, yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like it's one of those films. Sorry, Andy. It's one of those films that, like, I'm like, oh, what is this? It's crazy. I want more of it. And there isn't really much more. I mean, obviously there's folk horror, obviously there's British crime thriller / drama, but I want it both in that creepy world. So yeah, that's my answer.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think for you two, and knowing the films that I like and I engage with the most, think it's probably a fairly easy pick. I'd love to do a really fun slasher movie. I'd probably lean into the comedy a little bit of it as well. In terms of style, I was torn between a couple, like, how much I love the Sam Raimi movies, but actually, having revisited Slither, I think doing something really cool with like a James Gunn or a director with that similar type of style, maybe get him to tap back into some of those trauma roots for some of the really over the top stuff we do with the slasher. Again, I know he produced it as well, but I think you could do an excellent like a superhero style slasher. I'm midway through working a little something. It's like a bit of a summer camp vibe, but for like an X-Men type kids thing, and have like a real fun with some slashers on that front. Really, really push it. Have a lot of fun with it. Like, don't pull any punches with it, and just do something absolutely mad. That is what I would like to do.
Love it. Sounds great. Ryder rated 18 on YouTube just says evening, guys. Evening.
Hey, Ryder.
We are wrapping up. We're approaching the final question.
Event Horizon.
The event
from
horizon,
you.
Yeah.
From you, Ben.
He also says we need another sci-fi horror to come along. We haven't. When's the last sci-fi?
Well, we
sci-fi horror we discussed?
need to do Predator still. I think we've not done the
original recipe Predator.
Ready salted Predator. Pretty salted.
Exactly. Yeah, we never did do that. But yeah. So I guess my question is going to be, just as a big one to kind of put a full stop to this whole wonderful experience of this episode, is if you could give one horror property immunity from ever being remade, rebooted, or having a sequel made, what would it be and why?
I put Saw, and I mean it's mainly to immunize us, the audience, from more Saw.
Yeah.
Like a sort of vaccination.
Preventative.
I quite like the first couple, but I don't know. I just find I'm not interested in the recent takes on it, really, to be honest. I'd be maybe if they left it for a long while and then didn't do it again.
Yeah. How long are we talking? Because this is I didn't put rules to this question, so it can be give it immunity for a while or forever.
I think the inoculation lasts for
I see.
7 years.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
What about you,
Andy? First dance that sprung to mind, like Jaws, stood the test of time. Like, despite the fact it's already, the effects are what they are for a film made in the late 70s, it still holds up incredibly well. That tension is great. Is it a cop-out because we still get shark movies? You don't have to have a Jaws movie. Maybe, who knows? But that's
no more shark movies.
That's what I'd go with. Other shark movies, but you cannot call the shark Jaws.
Jaws the shark, Bruce.
Yeah, can't be that one shark. I think the remake of Jaws could never live up to that. So yeah, maybe that. Anything else? Like, I think we've talked about things like The Thing. I would give someone another shot at that. It doesn't take away the old one. I'd love to see, like, if something's fantastic, you can engage with it and you can really enjoy it. But if it's bad, just don't bother. Just don't bother seeing it.
Yeah. How
about you, Ben?
So I was mulling over this for a while, and I think I've settled on Alien because, for a lot of reasons, really. Like, I love the world of Alien. I'm talking just movies as well, because Alien Isolation was amazing. So, and I wouldn't want to think that we wouldn't get another game like that. I know Colonial Marines and whatever this fire team game is a completely different kettle of fish, kettle of xenomorphs. But I feel like I wanted Prometheus to be the next big, opening for the franchise. The next big sort of pave the way for what it could be. And I even got my hopes up hugely for Alien Covenant. And I almost just think if a new Alien sequel is announced, I will be hyped for it. But I feel like I will just be disappointed. It seems like one of those franchises where the studio have got so much sway on what that movie becomes that someone like Ridley Scott doesn't really have the chance to bring his vision to the screen. And, someone like James Cameron or someone of his I was about to say someone similar to him, but there's probably not anyone is there, isn't going to go back to that franchise anyway. He's already busy making 19 Avatar sequels. I really just don't think so. In terms of being remade, obviously Alien and Aliens wouldn't be anyway. I don't think people would remake those films. I think they would just be additional sequels. But the world of these films has become so convoluted and complicated that I don't even know what it is now. I don't think I could explain it if I had to write it down in more than like 10,000 words. So, and I had so much hope for like Prometheus. We're going to find out the origins of the xenomorph and how they were created. And now it's so complicated. I'm like, I don't know if I want another sequel. And it's a shame because it's a world. And what an amazing movie monster, like one of the best, possibly the best.
What you need, Ben, is now that the Aliens franchise is owned by Disney, maybe you need like a Kang the Conqueror to come and just really trim down that timeline for you to say, right, 1 and 2 happened, then we'll do this bit again. There was no big tall white Jesuses that made everyone in
How do you
another
feel
planet.
if they went like the opposite way? And like in Star Wars and Star Trek, there's like animated cartoons that are kind of sillier. Star Wars Visions as well. It's like an anime take on Star Wars.
Of course.
So what if they like took Alien and were like, let's do a comedy sitcom set on an alien.
Where it's like Alien versus Predator. Like one's really neat, one's really wacky. They're not going to get on.
Alien versus Seinfeld. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but I just think like if we find out tomorrow that Ridley Scott is making another Alien sequel, I think I would be a bit like, I don't think my hopes would be very high for it, and it's a shame. But I went to, as I mentioned on a recent episode, I went to a 35th anniversary screening of Aliens, and I'm just like, this is it, this is amazing, this is perfect. And even thinking about Neil Blomkamp making Alien 5. After watching Demonic, I mean, I know I'm sure it'd be different. I'm over that idea as well, And I don't know what director could be assigned could be linked to it that I would go, oh yeah, I'd like to see that. So I think in terms of giving it immunity from remakes, reboots, sequels, definitely at least 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, I'd go so far as to say as Alien and Terminator both. Come with such a legacy now that it's almost impossible that you'll ever recapture that like lightning in a bottle that made those so special. And because you've had a couple of attempts that didn't land in the same way as those originals, it's kind of changed what your franchise was. And can you do it? And then you sort of think that at the very face of it, if you take out the copyrightable and trademarkable things, the images that are so iconic about it, essentially a bad robot or a spooky alien, would you not be better to have that much more freedom? You could tell a time travel sci-fi horror story, or you could tell an alien parasitic life form story, move those copyrights out the way and do something which is legally distinct from, make them look like another Venom. If you come up with a completely different design, you could have the freedom to tell an exciting story that wouldn't have so much studio control behind it. Like, who's to say?
Yeah. But by the way, I don't know. I've got some name game. If you wanted to play a bit of name game,
Do you?
Oh, I'll stay up for a few minutes for some name game.
Only
let me take a little sip.
So, and it'd be super quick. So the first one I got is this podcast. It's where three bearded film fans join each other for group naps sessions and rate the naps from A to F.
Oh.
Noisy naps.
Oh, Snorer Hangout.
Snore hangout.
Noisy naps, my favorite type. Snore hangout.
A podcast where three bearded film fans watch the best horror movies and then rate them for how many swear words were used. So they rate two horror movies and they rate them based against each other based on how many swear words were used in the in the movies. This is convoluted.
Swear.
Is it in past tense? The Sworer Hangout.
Well, it's still all horror movies. So the first bit is still horror.
The horror.
Oh, the horror.
Maybe it's less curse words and more.
Oh, the horror slang out.
Well, yeah. Okay,
How many colloquialisms they use?
Yeah, I put horror slang bout. But,
horror slang bout, very good.
That's good.
The last one you're never going to get. Podcast where three bearded film fans watch. They just compete against each other to win a freshwater fish cooked not on a griddle.
A freshwater fish cooked not.
The horror something trout. The horror.
So it's cooked not on a griddle, not in a.
The horror pan trout.
Well, but there's no horror involved in this. We're just competing against each other to win it.
Oh, no.
To win it, to win it, the pan.
Yeah, you gotta Oh, I really want to win that pan trout.
So I want a pan trout.
Wait.
Win the pan trout.
Whoever you win it by getting a goal.
Score a pan trout.
Score a pan trout.
Score a pan trout. Yeah.
Score a pan trout. This is the bonus content that's coming, guys. So join us for the first bonus episode in which we all try to score a pan trout.
Become an ultimate supporter on the Patreon, patreon.com/horror hangout, because you will get more of this. Maybe better, maybe worse.
Who knows if better exists?
There we go. Done it. Episode 200.
We did it. Mostly you two. But yeah, we did it.
Oh, we all did it.
I guess.
Friends you made along the way.
Yeah, that's the true horror.
I don't know what the outro is at the minute because we need to change it. But I'll just say thanks for listening. Thanks for your support over the last 200 episodes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. It's been fun. And we'll continue to do it while it's fun. It'll always be fun, I think. I think that's one of those things. Things that are, what are guaranteed in life? Death, taxes, and horror hangout being
Horror hangout, yeah,
being fun. Horror hangout.
That's it.
Delivering podcast gold, silver,
juicy horror content.
Juicy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Next week, Freddy Krueger, bitch. Let's go.
Yes, next week, Freddy will get his revenge, or will he? Probably. He'll get some revenge, won't he?
Yeah, you're all my children now, he'll say. He does.
So Ryder Rated 18 says, keep up the great work, guys. Thanks very much. We will.
Cheers, Ryder.
We'll try our very best. So until next week.
Cool.
See you later, everyone.
See you later, everybody. Take care.
Bye.